Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
This might be a big mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round.
Here's the suckles.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live from the rowdy Palomino Club, located just a few miles off the Pacific Coast Highway. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight, the gang gets silly drunk on St. Arnold's Santo beer as they smoke Alpha Defuser Maduro cigars and have a total blast discussing the classic 1978 Burt Reynold stuntman classic, Hooper. Matt, you have classic in there twice. Discussing the classic 1978 Burt Reynold stuntman classic, Hooper. Classic. Boy, they sure don't make them like that anymore, folks. And I'm referring to both the movie and the man with the legendary mustache. Burt fucking Reynolds. What a stud. That dude was going bald on Gunsmoke when I was a little kid. And he's still studly enough to be banging Archer's mom umpteen decades later. He's got a full head of hair. Well, it sounds like our crew of tipsy, non-mustache numbnuts are going to have more fun tonight than Burt and his boys at an open bar. As if that's humanly possible. So sit back, folks, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
You know what, Yex? There's a whole new breed of podcasters coming along. They're younger, they're stronger, tougher than us. They don't take pills, they don't drink, they don't take shots. They use little pocket calculators to figure out all their podcasting problems. And if we don't watch out, they're going to blow us right to Kingdom fucking Come.
True. But if we drink enough, we'll forget they're out there. And everything will be fine.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Speaking of depressing shit, good gravy. The local election's over, finally?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was that, yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys vote?
Yes.
It's a lie. The political commercials seem especially brutal this year in like weird ways. Like
How
really,
so?
Like really nasty stuff. And they were concentrating on things that like had nothing to do with like the job of
This is Texas. That's the way it's done.
of the
Also,
office.
This is about integrity. Values.
Cody Leschker once agreed to bring the potato salad to a community picnic. When he arrived 15 minutes late, it was discovered that he in fact brought cream corn casserole instead of the promised potato salad, leaving picnic organizers heartbroken and in total disarray. Cream corn, Texas? No thanks, Cody Leschker.
Hey, cut him some slack, man. That was a long time ago.
I want me to cut him a break, huh? All right, then. Jason Ron Tuttle believes that one man should be making decisions for all the reproductive organs of Texas women. And who's the perfect one man for the job, according to Jason Tuttle? That's right, Mr. Anti-Vagina himself, Mr. Jason Ron Tuttle. Do you want Jason Tuttle lurking around your fallopian tubes? I know I don't. Do we have fallopian tubes?
No.
No.
Could we just go back to talking about the potato salad?
Those young podcasters I was talking about, you think they've ever found a way to work in cream corn casserole and fallopian tubes into the same opening?
That's why we've got the experience. That's why we're who we are.
That's why I am the Hooper of podcasting.
And I just want to go on the record to say that cream corn casserole is delicious.
Obviously, you made the decision for everybody. This is what you're having. Hope nobody was wanting the potato salad.
No, I always love the commercials, man. It's like,
Oh my God.
she will stand against Obama. You're running for the school board.
That's true.
Oh, jeez.
She wants to take away your guns. Sally Davis for local librarian. What the? Oh, it is. It's over until the runoffs.
Until the runoffs, yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 69. How about that?
Why can't we just talk about 69 for a while?
Well, if you remember on episode 59, I went into a big thing on 69.
right.
So I thought, you know what, we kind of, that ship has sailed. But you know, speaking of this is episode 69, you know what comes after 69, don't you?
70.
If you're not discriminating enough, mouthwash. You know, statistically, in all seriousness, a lot of podcasts do not get to episode 70. They just don't do it.
This is true.
They usually get right up to 69, and that's such a mouthful, they stop right there. All right, I'll knock it off. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Unrelated to the other stuff, out of sheer curiosity, do any of you two boneheads know what the square root of 69 is?
32 and a half. 34 and a half.
8 something.
Oh, jeez.
The Hooper of podcasting. Not the Hooperman,
Wait,
the
wasn't
John
that-
Ritter of podcasting.
Wasn't Hooper like the end of Burt Reynolds' career?
No, it's beginning.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the end.
Oh, we'll go over that later. But, no, it was 78. He had a lot of good stuff left in the tank. He hadn't done Cannonball Run, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. That was more of a Don DeLuise movie.
More of a Jerry Reed movie.
No, that was Smokey and the Bandit.
I never saw that. What? We're going to get into a lot of Burt Reynolds talk later, folks. And, well, more on that in just a second. I'm going to be quite upfront here at this stage. We are doing the Burt Reynolds film Hooper. I'm going to be saying Hooperman all night. That
Hooperman.
Stupid John Ritter show. I mean that awesome John Ritter show that you love so much.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about Hooper, Burt Reynolds, stuntman movie from 1978. Some say the greatest stuntman movie ever made.
Is it the only stuntman movie they ever made?
No, there was the Stuntman.
I missed that.
Actually got some Oscar nominations. I think that was a little bit later, maybe.
Okay.
That was a Richard Rush film, the director of Color of Night. He got a director nomination for the Stuntman. And I want to say James Caan was in that. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Anyway, we are doing Hooper. The reason being, we may be interviewing here on this episode an actual legendary stuntman. So kind of everything on the show tonight was geared around that. We kind of made contact with a gentleman, and we're logistically we've been trying to hammer out a way to make it happen. But essentially, the beer, the cigar, the movie, everything kind of revolves around that. So if you watch or listen to the show and there's no interview, for whatever reason it didn't happen, know that there was a method to our pairing madness.
Or we just shoot the interview later. Release it as a standalone?
Yes,
and there you
we
go.
do have a little window of time after the recording night where we could do it, but we're all going to have to wear the same clothes or else it's going to look weird.
No, I mean, just release it as its own standalone, man. Just
Oh, no. Now he's talking crazy. Now he's talking like those young podcasters. Standalones? Oh. Get that man some cream corn casserole.
I'm all about adapting to the new generation, man.
Not me.
They had to be accepting of Jan Michael Vincent.
Speaking of adapting, you got a little mustache growing there? I couldn't tell if it was your beer,
Yeah,
your beer foam or your...
I was so inspired by the movie that once we watched it, I had to start growing it.
Growing a Burt Reynold stash, huh?
Yeah. Eventually, I'm hoping it'll be more of a Tom Selleck.
I tried to get Yak Boy to bring a Burt Reynolds toupee, but we don't have the funds for that.
Yeah. We're not that kind of a podcast yet.
No, but those young kids would.
How are we going to get a Burt Reynolds?
Those young kids are probably like raising goats and then shaving the goats and making their own toupees.
That sounds like work.
That's a lot of work. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna have fun. Interview or no interview, we're gonna. How can you not have fun with a classic Burt Reynolds flick, a shitload of beer, and a good-looking stogie.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
I am ready.
All right, let's do this. All right. Well, you know what? Let me. I really, really am dying for a cigar. So let's do that first, and talk about the beer so we can start living our lives. Damn it. And then we can talk about everything else. Tonight's cigar is the Alpha Defuser Maduro by Alpha Cigar Company. If you remember,
I believe we've ran into them before.
we have on our big absinthe episode. They were the absinthe guys. We smoked one of their absinthe infused cigars, and we actually not infused cigar fans per se. We actually really wish that it had more absinthe present in it.
Yeah.
It was just a good normal tasting cigar. We didn't really pick up on much of the absinthe. So this is no absinthe. This is just their straight traditional Maduro cigar. It is a 6.5 by 52 torpedo. The wrapper is San Andreas Maduro, which you could probably tell just by looking at it. Binder Dominican, filler Dominican, and Nicaraguan. Talk about MSRP price point at the end of the show. Here's what from the Alpha website I got the following info. Dark and luscious San Andreas Maduro wrappers have entered a new golden age, and the Alpha Cigar Company Defuser is a rare Maduro cigar that stands above the rest. It offers the combination of earthiness, spice, and sweetness that the ideal San Andreas wrapper bestows on a cigar, with great aging potential due to the oils in the wrapper. I've actually had these aging ever since that absinthe episode, so maybe a year.
Yeah.
So, upholding Cuban traditions, the cigars are rolled in pairs and then bunched in the Cuban entubado style for optimal draw. That's where the filler leaves are rolled, remember, like little scrolls of paper, and then bunched inside the binder to give you better airflow. We did one of those, I believe it was the Guayacan. Use the entubado process. Cuban seed Piloto Cubano leaves make up the filler of these medium-bodied cigars, with the native Olar Dominicano leaf making up the binder.
Close enough.
Something like that.
I'm going to applaud you.
I tried to work on my Burt Reynolds laugh.
I just Don DeLoy's.
I really wanted to get a good Burt Reynolds laugh. And just I can't do it. I don't think anybody can do it.
No, it's real tough.
But if you hear like a sound like a wounded bird throughout the night, that's. Plus, I'm starting to get a cold. If it weren't for the cold, I would have nailed it. So anyway, that's what we're doing. It's just a San Andreas Mexican wrapped cigar, which kind of ties in with the beer a little bit tonight.
A wee bit.
What are we drinking?
We're drinking beer.
All right, now moving on.
No.
And watching. God, please don't.
Sorry.
We are drinking from the St. Arnold Brewing Company. Their Santo.
They have not sold out yet, correct? Still independent.
Still independent.
Good.
St. Arnold, located in Houston, Texas, named after the patron saint of brewing, which in English is St. Arnold.
Painter.
Patron saint of brewing.
Really?
St. Arnulf of Metz. Founded in 94 by a gentleman name of Brock Wagner and Kevin Bartle. They've been going strong ever since, expanding, growing. We have had, I think, what?
We did their Oktoberfest?
We did their Oktoberfest and the fancy lawnmower.
Yep, the lawnmower.
No, we didn't do it.
Yeah, we did.
Lawnmower.
Yeah, we did.
Pretty sure we did not.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we totally did.
I think I would remember a fancy lawnmower.
No, you fell off that lawnmower.
Did we do it with Can't Buy Me
Can't Buy Me
Love?
Love.
Yep. Because he's running around on that lawnmower.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, that's good pairing.
That's good pairing right there.
And obviously a very memorable beer.
Very, very memorable. The Santo is, as the St. Arnold labels it, a black Kolsch.
A black Kolsch.
Which does not exist.
It does not exist, which really makes no sense. But anyways, the reason they describe it as such is that in the recipe they added to the normal Kolsch recipe the addition of Munich and black malts.
That wasn't even funny. Sorry.
They describe it as being a light-bodied and floral, yet with a distinctive dark malt flavor. Their goal was to create a refreshing beer that would pair perfectly with a plate of enchiladas.
See? Mexican wrap cigar, beer made to go with enchiladas.
If you notice the
Were we
label
interviewing
artwork,
a Mexican wrestler? A luchador?
that would be sweet.
No, but we are perhaps interviewing someone who may have done some work with a man named Arnold.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Go on.
So there you go. Saint
Mr.
Arnold.
Todd Bridges.
Todd Bridges. The bottle, the artwork, little sugar skull with a crown on it. It's done by a Houston artist, Carlos Hernandez, who is well known for his Day of the Dead Rockstar series of paintings and prints.
Carlos Hernandez is a Hispanic name.
Yes. Dynamite observation.
You know, I had a feeling that maybe wearing this denim shirt in the spirit of Burt Reynolds would dumb me down a little bit. Usually guys who wear a lot of denim I find aren't the sharpest.
I mean, if it's a good quality item.
I mean layers of denim, you know. Denim shirt, denim vest. I looked for a denim cowboy hat. Couldn't find it.
They're around.
They exist.
They're around.
But I'm clearly on top of my game. So
That is correct.
I am losing my voice kind of. So if I drink a little more than usual tonight, it's for
Okay.
medicinal.
Yeah.
I got to keep my throat
course.
lubed up, guys. I got to do it.
Well, I'm digging the black Kolsch.
First impressions.
Never had it. Never had it before.
I've
never
never
heard of
many
it
a
before.
Kolsch beer, and so I was interested as to how would this taste in comparison. The Kolsch style by itself it's a German style, so it's a German
Yeah.
beer. I mean, originally from Cologne, Germany.
German beer to pair with enchiladas?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Who would think these things?
Carlos Hernandez.
Well, he just did the artwork.
drew it.
He just drew the thing, yeah. Let's
No,
not,
I like
let's
it.
not
I like
shortchange Carlos. Given
Every time I think of an amber and I like order an amber and I've got a specific taste in my mouth that I'm wanting and it never delivers because that's not what an amber's profile is. I'm thinking this profile. I actually am. A little bit creamy. It's kind of like a Negro Modelo except creamier.
yeah, but it's got a little crisper than a Negro.
Yeah, it is.
It's got a nice kind of crisp front end to it. A little bit of malts
Yeah.
on the back end, but really nice flavor.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you get a little caramel?
I do.
But nothing like crazy offensive,
No.
like you'd find it.
It's really going down super easy.
Uh-huh.
By
I was
the
gonna
fact
say,
that I am at the bottom of my glass.
Yeah, you're keeping up, buddy. Sorry.
Oh, we forgot some of the most important information.
Kicked a mule.
The Santo is ABV is 4.7, and it only has IBU of 17.
Yeah,
there is no bitterness.
No bitterness at all. Unlike with the three of us.
It's a bitter shit.
All right, well, pretty low ABV. So if this trend continues and we're just pounding these bugs down, we'll probably be okay. First, Tut, I'm gonna let you get a chance to let up. You lit up the cigar first.
Really tight.
I actually clipped. You might want to clip a little bit deeper.
Yeah, you're gonna have to clip deeper.
I clipped before the show when we were doing photographs. I just barely. I always try to go not as not as deep, and then I'll just kind of play it by ear. I actually had to trim it about 2 more times to get some good airflow. It's a very tightly packed cigar, which is weird because of the.
Oh yeah, you can tell that
the intubado process. Is the benefit being airflow.
Yeah.
And I had to really chop a chunk of this.
That's why I was trying to keep my right face from showing when you were like, the intubado helps in airflow. And I'm like,
It is. I mean, just
something to do with the torpedo.
Just squeezing the cigar, it's very firm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no give in this baby. Having said that,
but here's what I will say.
Now that it's heated up a little bit and he gets heated up a little softer, and I am pulling smoke on the draw now. It just, to me, first impression is that classic San Andreas spice.
Yeah, I liked actually on the cold draw. I was getting a little bit of cocoa, nice little chocolate flavor in there, which is really good.
It's really sweet.
And I really don't get that a lot on cold draws. And then on the light, at least on the first light, I think I'm getting a little bit of graham sweetness on the retrohale. Kind of like it. I'm not really getting a lot of pepper and spice off of it.
It's already died. I'd say it's first half inch, but it's already a little bit softer.
Yeah.
I'm not getting graham.
Until you play this.
I am getting a little bit of that creaminess, though, on the retrohale.
Yeah.
Which is not traditionally associated with a San Andreas cigar. All right, well, you just lit up. There is an object in the middle of the table. Feel free to jump in with anything on the cigar or the beer, guys. I do think they're going to pair early on very well together. There is a big glass object here in the middle of the table. Don't be alarmed. No one's passed away recently, but there was a big stink the other night. The Academy Awards were on. There's an article on our website I wrote, I think last year, on why I don't watch award shows.
I actually think we were watching something, weren't we?
Oh yeah, we were out here watching.
Yeah, we were in the corner. No,
that's right. Everybody was watching the Oscars. We were watching fucking Burt Reynold. I will stop.
I hope so.
I will.
Why do you make this a corner of lies? There's no stopping.
Oh, I want to laugh like it so much. I tried. That's pretty good.
That's getting close. That is.
I need at least 10 more of these.
Is his better than mine?
Yes.
Yeah, because when I heard his, I knew what it was.
Yeah, it didn't quite have
when
that.
I point to you, do you do it?
I just can't do it on commands. Got to work into it.
It's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure.
All right. Well, I guess every year they fuck up and they leave some people out of the what do they call it? In memoriam.
Yeah.
The little montage of people who've died throughout the year, and of course they left out Tobe Hooper, the director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
fools.
But I guess most people don't care about that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people got up in the stink. They forgot Adam West.
Yeah.
Who most people think of TV, Batman and whatnot. But it just so happens he's in our movie tonight. Yeah. And so I thought, you know what? The Oscars shit all over his grave. Why don't we just take a brief moment to we'll give Adam his due, because he is such an interesting screen presence. He's very unique, and I don't even know if we discussed it when he died on the show. I don't think we did.
No.
It's not like I'm a diehard Adam West fan or anything.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? The guy had a long career up till the very end, and his kids and probably his. Seems like a guy who has several ex-wives. I could be wrong on that. Three.
Well, technically he has 2 ex-wives, and his last wife he ended up being. They were together for almost 50 years.
Oh wow! All right, but I'm sure they were all watching the Oscars, waiting for that moment where Dad's comes up on the thing, and then when he didn't come, so you know what? The Tuesday Night Cigar Club is going to take care of you. Yak Boy, tell us a little bit.
In memorandum, Adam West.
Man, I like that. Tell us a little bit about this man, and I mean like a little bit. We don't have much time. We got a big show.
But I have like 8 pages.
Oh God!
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, Adam West, born William West Anderson, September 19th, 1928, in Walla Walla, Washington.
Walla Walla.
Walla Walla.
Is that 2 words or 1 word?
It is actually 2 words.
Walla.
Okay. Walla Walla, Washington.
All right.
But he was born to Otto Anderson and his mother Audrey Valine. I hope I pronounced that right. After a number of years spent there, his parents ended up getting a divorce, and he moved away with his mom. Over time, he eventually worked his way to Hawaii, where he started acting. Ended up in a little local show there. It was his first part. And kind of just took off from there. Going through various things. He ended up in a lot of productions during the 50s. Geronimo, The Outlaws coming. He ended up doing various movies. He had, part with Robinson Crusoe on Mars. Came out in 1964. He also had a part in the last film that the Three Stooges did.
Yeah.
So. And then he
played a 2x4 in that, I believe.
Yes.
He wasn't very good then.
He then luckily he ended up got cast as Bruce Wayne in the original first television series for Batman in 1966. He got the part because the producer of the show liked his James Bond-like spy performance he did for a Nestle Quick commercial.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
He plays a James Bond type character in tonight's movie.
He does. And he was under consideration to actually play James Bond.
That'd be terrible.
Exactly. And diamonds are forever.
Huh.
So.
Interesting.
Thankfully, he didn't get that part.
Man, it'd be an entirely different franchise.
Well, looking back at it, especially the way he looked right back then, he did kind of have that look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was his delivery was what set him apart as a different animal, though.
Right. So, very unique they made a good choice, but I'm like, he had the look. I don't know. He could have probably been, better than a.
Well, I always kind of associated him as with kind of like Shatner.
Dalton.
With their, I think we were all thinking Timothy Dalton when you said that. I always kind of associate him with kind of Shatner as these really good-looking guys that, for whatever reason, never really broke free of their trademark, like Batman or Star Trek or whatever. And Shatner also had that very unique way of speaking.
Yeah.
Which, it works when you're comfortable seeing him in the role that you first, like, as Batman or as Captain Kirk. But, whenever...
But it's also really obvious that, those shows... how long did Batman run?
2 years.
2 years.
From 66 to 68.
The initial run of Star Trek was like, what, 2 years?
3 years. 3
years?
seasons.
Yeah.
So you're not talking like, these big, long runs. Same way with Bob Denver with Gilligan's Island. You're not talking these long runs to where you're typecasted all of a sudden or nobody can get that out of your head, aren't you? Like with our age group, yes, because we saw so much, TV reruns.
Yeah.
And then apparently they never worked again after their initial show.
Hey, shut your mouth, TJ Hooker, baby.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got some TJ.
Heather Locklear, come on.
Adrian Zemed.
It's just I wonder if you're onto something with that whole unique way of speaking and delivering their dialogue.
I think I might
Shatner,
be.
can you try it this way? Mr. West, can you try it this way?
I'd love to, but hey, that's not bad, Adam West.
That actually wasn't.
I didn't practice that at all. So after this was 78, he was in Hooper,
Yes.
which we'll talk about him a little bit. It's a very small part, but
Well,
it's
and-
great. I didn't recognize him at first.
No, he
Neither.
a lot. All three of the main actors from the Batman series ended up. They had a very difficult time after that series ended because they got Hollywood just said, "Oh, you're typecast. You're Batman," and told Burt Ward, "You're Robin, Yvonne Craig, Batgirl." They had a very difficult time.
Burt Ward, 50 years old, like 250 pounds. Your boy Wonder. The fuck I am. I gotta eat.
But that's not to say. You just mentioned Star Trek. They both were on TV at exactly the same time,
Yeah.
and they ended up both being just absolute cult classics.
Yeah.
When someone talks about Batman, somewhere in the back of your mind, you immediately go, Adam West, Batman.
To this day, he is still my favorite version of Batman on the screen.
I disagree, but okay.
You come at me with some Christian Bale nonsense. Oh, that's Rich Cade. Adam West. That's very right. Look, Cade, I like you. No, Cade. No.
I'm sorry. I'll lose my voice if I keep doing that.
Michael Keaton would be second.
I am a big fan of Michael Keaton.
I'm a big fan of Keaton.
And everyone actually does give him props for that. Even DC came out in 1985. They put out basically a 50th anniversary publication for Batman, and they basically listed him as one of the honorees that made Batman what he is today.
Huh.
Yeah.
No one would have even an idea of who Batman is
Yeah.
up until that point, other than the comic book readers.
Was Burt Ward on that list?
No, of course he wasn't. What about just kidding, take it off. Take it off.
Was he on the list of who made Robin what he is today?
Probably not.
No. Okay.
But he ended up going on and basically before he passed, the body of work he did in the last 10, 15 years really set him in place and moved him beyond Batman, but still not just with his cameos within television and movies, but a lot of what we think about nowadays is his voice work.
Yeah.
I think the
was
younger
prolific.
generation probably strictly knows him as Mayor West on Family Guy. He did that for over a decade.
Yeah,
And is one. I'm not one of those snobs who rolls my eyes at Family Guy. I laugh my ass off at Family Guy. I
actually love Family Guy.
I've got a lot of respect for Family Guy, and he's one of Mayor West had some of the best bits on there. And you could tell West was having fun with it because they give him outrageous shit to do, like fighting the Noid from the Domino's thing.
Yeah.
Or, talking to just there's always something very bizarre with Mayor West, and from what I understand, the guy did have just a really good self-aware sense of humor.
Well, he took
After 40 years of being denied and typecasted, you have to develop
but he
it.
literally took that whole concept and he made it his own.
Yeah.
As opposed to pretended it didn't happen, he owned it.
Yeah.
He used it in multiple things. One of my favorite, the Batman the Animated Series, they did a whole episode to him where he got to use his voice, but they talked, and the character was basically him playing himself as he was as the old Batman on a cartoon of Batman.
Oh wow,
It was called the Gray Ghost.
very meta.
If you ever get a chance to see it,
And then he asked if he could do more of it, and they were like, no. Here's Conrad.
but it's one of my favorite episodes.
Do you have anything for Burt Ward? No. Ask again, you're out of here.
But sadly, he passed this past year, June 9th, 2017.
How old a man was he?
88.
Oh, that's a good run.
It was a great run.
It's a hell of a run. And he was buried in the Batman costume, I believe.
I don't think that's true.
Is he buried in Bruce Wayne's costume?
If by that
Like a
you mean
tuxedo?
a suit.
Tuxedo? No, what I said was fake news, obviously.
No.
Just trying to start trouble. I
mean he's not dead?
No, and he's right. No, he's dead.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't fake news.
That he was buried in the Batman suit was fake news.
Oh, okay.
He was buried with Burt Ward, who unfortunately hadn't died yet. They just knocked him out and threw him in there.
I knew he always lied with Boy Wonder.
Get in those little green shoes. Let me get in them. I never take them off. Is Burt Ward still alive?
Yes, he is.
He's a little bit younger.
Just a little bit.
70s probably by now.
Yeah.
What was that Burt Ward movie we used to watch on Laserdisc when we were drunk as skunks back in college? Was it Virgin High? Was he in that? No, Stewardess School.
Stewardess School?
I think he was in Virgin High.
Probably.
I don't know.
It's been a while.
There was a Laserdisc and he was on it. Anywho, well, thank you for... it was a beautiful tribute, Yak Boy. Now as we will raise the boot of remembrance in Adam West's honor, I got a little something going in my throat, so I'm not going to... I'll let you guys take care of the boot tonight.
Yeah, well, we just poured your beer into the boot, so you will be drinking the boot.
I guess that's
the way it goes.
probably how it goes. Why don't you guys? So to Adam West, 88 years, and fuck you, Oscars for
bad show Oscars.
bad Oscars.
Man, not like anyone watched him anyways, so.
Yeah. Take that, liberal Hollywood. All right, boys, was I drink the Boot of Remembrance, which will officially release Adam West's spirit from
this mortal plane.
And off into the spiritual afterlife. He's going to heaven. He's got to. He's a good guy. But he can't do it until I chug this beer, so why do that? Why don't you guys talk about the cigar a little bit?
It's delicious.
Tut.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll agree with Ted. I'm getting a little bit of Graham.
Yeah, I
On the
kind of
retro?
am. Yeah, on the retro.
And are you getting the creaminess?
I am getting, well, can't say that there was a little bit there right when I lit up, and maybe the cigar will warm up a little more.
Yeah, there's just a hint of white pepper. There is that earthiness to it. Like I said, there is a Graham on the retro hell that I'm really, really kind of liking. I really like the deal. It's like I said, it's a little bit tight, but it's not throwing me off by any means. It's not like turning me off.
No, and typically when the cigar heats up a little bit, things loosen up. Well, I'm sorry, I've got. Poor Adam is being ripped apart by demons. Have his ankles. Angels are tearing at his wrists. Let me release this guy.
If only they would finish the boot.
All it took for them was to finish the boot, and all it took for them was to finish the boot.
Asking these jokers to accomplish a simple task. I did it good that one time. I should have called it quits.
Went back to the well, man.
Man.
Yeah, kind of like it. Like I said, there's a little bit of pop now. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit of a, not like a heavy pepper, but just a very, very light sprinkling of it. Tingles the nose a little bit.
I'm actually a little bit of that initial nose tingles coming back. Man, still not getting the Graham, but I'm just getting a lot of cream on the Retro Hail and just a really mild cocoa on the draw.
Yeah.
Which for a Mexican San Andreas is I'm expecting more of that power and not so much. I think it's the Dominican. I think it's the Dominican in the filler. It's smoothing it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very pleasant smoking cigar.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
And it's going great with the beer. Obviously, we're tearing,
Tear the crap
tearing
out
it up.
of it.
That's fantastic. I'll take 5 more.
You guys, I take it, are enjoying the beer?
Yes,
Very
I
much
am.
so. Very
me
much
as well. It's boy, it's got just like we said, that real crisp opener. That just you know what, it would go good with enchiladas.
It would.
What doesn't?
That's true.
I mean,
Well, way to go, Tut! Ruin everybody's good time.
sorry.
You don't even eat. You eat cheese quesadillas.
No, I eat cheese enchiladas. Mother.
Oh, I thought you ate cheese quesadillas.
No, cheese enchiladas.
Oh, I'm sorry for busting your balls. The other night, he was talking about this Mexican restaurant they go to, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I get the cheese quesadillas," and I was like,
No, the cheese enchiladas.
I was like, "Well, didn't you?" Because I was like, "What do you get? The kids menu?"
like,
What
no.
adult eats cheese quesadillas
I
for
get
their
3 with, instead of rice, double beans.
refried? Yeah. Well, that makes more sense. Cheese and I'm sorry. You got a little bit of respect back tonight.
You're always busting my balls, so it just kind of goes in one ear, out the other. Except I can't remember what we were watching the other night. Or I don't remember being pissed at the time, but apparently when I looked at my face, I was like, oh God, man, I'm like staring you a hole in the wall.
Oh, you were watching last episode?
Yeah, no, was it the last episode?
I mean, on video, you were watching us, and like
Yeah,
saw you being visibly angry at me.
Yeah, I was like, wow, all right.
Well, much like Hooper and his buddies, they punch each other out and get pissed all the time. And the next day, they just sit down.
I was about to say.
Everything's fine.
Great, I'm going to have to put in some breakaway walls.
Oh,
this is never going to work.
He didn't hit me too hard.
I'm
We're
not going to
gonna
be able to make these chairs out of balsa wood. It's just too difficult.
It just, man, it's a really refreshing, but not. Man, it's got a unique taste. I'm trying to. I can't really place it or compare it to anything we've had on the show.
What, the
before.
Black Kolsch?
Yeah,
Sounds like a superhero name.
It
Black Kolsch.
Black Kolsch.
What's your power? I get people drunk.
Your benefit to.
Meanwhile, I can see Black Lightning going, come on, man. Just, why did we have to have black in front of our name?
Meanwhile, Sinestro and Black Kolsch head to the Legion of Doom. I heard on the opening episode of Jessica Jones, the new season just came out.
Oh, I haven't
The
seen
Wizard
it yet.
makes an appearance.
The Wizard?
Isn't that the villain's name, the Wizard?
Yes.
Yeah, he's on there.
Or is it just some homeless guy that, like,
Pees all
on
over stuff.
The Wizard. That's not what I was thinking of. But we'll take it.
We'll take it. Do we own the right? Is he one of ours? Yeah, we own the Wizard.
Everybody has something.
Get that guy a cape.
We're just going to call this guy the Pisser. Yeah, whatever.
As long as he's not Iron Fist, I'll see what he's all about. Hooper,
Hooper.
1978. It's a good year.
Turn the boat to the left, Mr. Hooper.
Turn the boat to the left, Mr. Hooper. This is a different Hooper. This Hooper's not going around grabbing big chunky asses every chance he gets. Well, actually, probably is.
He probably is, yeah.
Wait, he does in this
Wait,
movie.
he bites people on the ass in this movie.
He does.
He bit her arm. Oh wait, no, he didn't bite that.
He bit her arm first. But then he made the wise choice.
1978, one of my favorite years. Screenplay by Thomas Rickman of Coal Miner's Daughter fame, and Bill Kirby of, Hooper fame, with uncredited script work by...
That's some, like, heavy names in there. Coal Miner's Daughter was up for an Academy.
Yes, and uncredited script work by James Best, a.k.a. Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Hey.
From the Dukes of Hazzard, of course. He act-
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
He actually worked as both an actor and a producer on several early... Him and Burt Reynold were buddies.
Did not know that. Talk about another one who was typecast.
I believe it started back in Gator in 76. That's where they kind of started working together. Do y'all know what the P stands for in Roscoe P. Coltrane?
Peterman.
Wrong.
Peterbilt.
Wrong again.
Policeman.
Policeman?
I don't know. What does it stand for? You're
Pussy. That's not correct. Although that is a joke that would work very well with our interview subject.
Well, Look at this guy.
So hopefully we have an interview and that'll all make sense. From the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Raw Deal.
Raw Deal.
Joey P. Brenner's his name, and the cop stops him. What's the P stand for, Brenner? Pussy. I remember sitting in the theater with my Uncle Bill watching that as a kid, and I was just like, what does that mean?
It's a cat, son. Don't worry about it.
No, he told me what it meant. I had really cool uncles. My uncles were kind of like Hooper. Anyway, Roscoe's middle name was Purvis.
Purvis.
Roscoe Purvis Coltrane.
Okay.
Knowledge for your ass. Speaking of close friends of Burt Reynolds, the film was directed by legendary filmmaker Hal Needham. Ready for this? Am I saying that right? Needham?
Needham?
Yeah. Needham directed such classics as Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2.
All right.
Nice.
Good job.
With part 1 came out right the year before Hooper.
Yeah, 77.
Yep.
Cannonball Run 1 and 2.
Ah.
Stroker Ace.
Man, this guy's just all the classics.
I still say to this day that Stroker Ace is one of the coolest names for a movie ever.
Hey, Stroker Ace was born to race.
It could have been any movie about anything. A guy grocery shopping.
Stroker
Ace. Man, what a name. Will you guys start calling me Stroker Ace?
No, absolutely not.
No.
I'm wearing the denim shirt.
Well,
Do I need to take off the undershirt?
yes.
I'll put to a vote. You want the undershirt off?
No, I
And
don't.
look at this all night? And he also
Jesus.
directed, did you get this? 1986's Rad.
What?
The bike movie?
How do you go from just
It's a different time.
apparently so?
Look, Hal, we're not making Burt Reynolds Pontiac Firebird movies anymore. What else you got? Oh, my kid's got a bike. You got it.
It's only because you did Stroker Ace.
Dude, Rad.
Wow.
Which just seems like a movie we would have done on this show.
Totally does.
Well, we kind of did a movie similar to it.
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid.
Yeah. Well, not to mention a film he made right after tonight's film. This film fits in a weird kind of place. Sure, our guest would appreciate this. 1979's Looney Tune-inspired Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, The Villain.
Ah, okay.
Oh, I love the
Think about it. Stunts galore.
Yeah.
Ah, you're
A
right.
phenomenal performance by Kirk Douglas. A really funny performance by Kirk Douglas. And the name's escaping me.
Chesty McChesterson.
What's the girl's name in the villain?
The damsel.
Margaret.
And Margaret.
And Margaret. That's their names.
Anne and Margaret.
And Margaret.
Whew. So obviously he's a director very familiar with stunts, looking at all these films. Because not only due to his directorial work, he was a stuntman and a stunt coordinator for decades, going back to the 50s. I mean, this guy, this guy's jumping off buildings on flames in his sleep.
Interesting.
That's actually what killed him.
No. Well,
We'll do a boot for him some other night. But yeah, very...
we'll just
For a
fill it
movie
with-
about the greatest stuntman of all time, you got the right director for the job.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
You guys want to start off? Real quick on the cigar before we get into Hooper. During the break, I was still having I wasn't getting the airflow out of this thing I should have, and I'd cut it a little bit more. So I basically took a nub tool, one of these guys. It's basically a roach clip for cigars, but it's got two very sharp spikes on it, and I sunk it in the end. Tuttle saw me doing it, and seeing as I'm one of the 11 top cigar experts in the universe, according to a website, he followed my lead, and he said it worked.
I had to make sure that it worked first.
It did.
It did. Absolutely did. Opened it right up.
Now it's smoking beautifully.
But Cody said he didn't have a problem with it.
No. So 2 out of 3 had a super tight draw that needed a lot of help. Yours is fine.
Yep. Solid.
Super straight burn line.
Yeah. Construction is fantastic.
I'm still getting a mild cocoa with a cream on the retro. A little bit of spice. My verdict at this point is just it's I'm not getting a lot of anything. I'm not getting a lot of complexity, but the flavor profile I am getting is very enjoyable.
Agreed.
And, I'm not even halfway, so maybe this baby will throw some new stuff at me. And it's going great with this delicious beer.
It is.
I'm going to wet my whistle briefly, and then we'll get into Hooper.
Mr. Hooper, fire up the boat, please.
His quint from Jaws is worse than my Burt Reynolds laugh. We start things off.
Oh, that's like the Australian accent I had on the
That was
last
great.
one. Really, because I heard it, and I was like, "Oh man, that's horrible."
Oh no, I thought both you and the doctor's Australian accents.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't, but no, I thought it was good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it worked for me. I liked it.
I'm sorry. Let's get into the movie. Let's get into the movie.
I want you to stick with that. We start things off on a weathered old leather gym bag with the name Sonny Hooper etched in the side. We pan up to a weathered, scar-ridden man's leg as the one and only Sonny Hooper, wraps his old battered knee with an ace bandage and then an additional knee brace. And then in close-ups, we see him attach thick padding to his midsection, almost like you'd see on football players' pants.
Yeah.
All those things you got to stick in your waist belt. Before he slips on some black leather cowboy boots and matching black pants, pours some Jack Daniels into his Stuntman Association coffee mug. Hey, this guy's just like me. He's drinking whiskey and this coffee in the morning. Hey, Mom, a Hollywood stuntman. And then he's out the door.
For a hard day's work.
Literally, he steps out the trailer onto a motorcycle and does a stunt. There's never any preparation for a stunt. It's just, Sonny, you ready? It's off.
It's go time.
Well, Sonny Hooper is, of course, played by the one and only Burt fucking Reynolds. I think this is Burt at his most Burtish. If that's
it is.
If that's a word. He's at his peak as Hooper falls. It comes right after The Longest Yard, Gator, and the first Smokey and the Bandit. Good, that's a hell of a run.
Yeah.
And Deliverance was considerably earlier. I think Deliverance, he still had his hair.
Yeah.
And then it arrives right before Smokey and the Bandit 2, Sharky's Machine, and the Cannonball Runs.
Yes.
So you said earlier you thought this was him at the end of the. I think this is him right at the peak, the apex.
Pretty much, yeah. Going into Sharky's Machine.
The apex.
The apex.
I think it's him at the his
The summit.
The summit. That's the word I was looking
The
for.
summit.
The summit.
Just before he falls off it like a stuntman.
Yeah. So he's a hot commodity at this moment. To put his career into some context. So like I said, Hooper exits his trailer, jumps on a motorcycle, and within seconds, the cold, emotionless director, played against type by comedian Robert Klein, shows up on set, rolls up in his Rolls Royce, his chauffeured Rolls Royce, literally steps out of the car, someone gives him a megaphone, calls action, and Hooper is almost instantly sliding his motorcycle at high speed. We call it laying it down.
Yeah.
Under a moving semi-truck, lays it down underneath that, and then it pops into another car, sending him flipping somersaults over the hood of a car into a bush. It's a very impressive stunt.
You think there'd be like a mat? No, we're just gonna land in this bush over here. That'll break your fall.
Yeah, there's no mat.
They could put a little mattress down there. They knew that's where he was going to land. And they do everything in one take.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it'd be like maybe the semi-gag would be one, if they did this stuff anymore, which they don't. But it'd be like, that would be then cut, and then maybe get him riding it some more, and then no, it's just all one camera, one take. It's kind of refreshing. I don't think that's even how they did it back then, but for this movie, I'm glad they simplified it. It makes it easier to just zip through. But yeah, but he gets up, and he's okay. Cut print, they're moving on. The actor that Hooper is doubling for in this picture, called the Spy Who Laughed at Danger. And whenever they see the stunts, there's a real cheesy James Bond type music playing. Yeah. But it's like kind of slowed down. Just enough to not get sued. Is Adam West, who is sporting a Burt Reynolds mustache because he's got to look like the guy who's doubling for him. We'll talk a little bit more with our guest about that, maybe. But I didn't recognize Adam West.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
I mean,
Until he opened his mouth, like, "Good work, Sonny." Well, that doesn't sound like him at all. Maybe say it in your Australian accent.
Good work, Sonny.
okay, kind of works.
Saved it.
I'm not sure that's all.
But he's always got just chicks. Adam West always has like his arms around like two blonde bombshells and make me look good, Sonny. Like it's just, yeah, it's so over the top. But he's good. It's very small. He basically shows up. Sonny Hooper does the stunt. They cut, and then Adam West gets in. He stands up off the ground and dusts his tuxedo off. Everyone comes over to congratulate him on a good stunt. Everyone's excited except the director, Roger Deal. That guy's a little dickhead. I will say this about Adam West. It really made me smile seeing him pop up. You just don't see him pop up in like...
No.
I can't remember last time I was just watching a movie like, oh, there's Adam West. Like, for a guy that worked a lot, like I don't see him a lot, I guess. Anyway. Hooper's buddy Cully, Roscoe P. Coltrane himself, gives Hooper a pat on the back and a handful of Percocet painkiller tablets for his back pain, and everybody's happy as soon as those pills go down.
Because we're going to go wash those pills down with some nice cold Coors beer.
Cully takes care of Hooper. He's his caretaker. This is what you're supposed to be doing for me the mornings after our shows.
I'm supposed to be giving you Percocet?
Are you getting paid Coley money?
I am not.
Coley was also like shooting him with drugs in the butt.
I'm not going to shoot.
Again, things you should be doing the morning after a podcast. That's what those young kids in the podcast world are doing. I can't keep functioning like this.
Yeah, but they're also
69 episodes?
I
I'm
can't,
like Hooper getting
I
in
can't
here.
keep smoking these delicious cigars and drinking these beers.
Dude, I am like Hooper before each podcast. I'm sitting there in my trailer.
Putting on your ace bandage.
Putting on my ace bandage around my liver.
Oh,
Yeah,
your
but
liver.
you're literally doing the thing that he does after the stunt. But this is what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Getting up to walk outside would be actually going to do something, whereas you've already acting like you've done the stunt. So now I've got to need all the medication.
So you'll step up your game is what you're saying.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I love these scenes with Hooper and Coley. You can tell that they're good friends in real life, and they just play so well off. They can't stop giggling at each other. But unlike where, like in the Will Ferrell and some of those modern comedies, where boy that gets old when you just see them like just winging it and having a good time. It's infectious. Like I could watch a whole movie of just those two hanging out in their trailer.
Well, it's it's different with the Will Ferrell stuff because they're trying to say the most outlandish stuff to crack each other's up.
Yeah, this is
these
way
guys
more
are
innocent.
these guys are just enjoying each other.
This is way more innocent. But I mean, man, it's just so relaxed.
And I like seeing Best outside of Roscoe because I don't think I've ever seen him that way. And I was just like, man, why didn't this guy work more? Because he was awesome. I think that's part of what you were saying is that maybe I'm picking up on that chemistry between him and Burt.
Man, it's just you can tell they're not that good of an actor. They're really friends, and it's super fun and comfortable to watch. I immediately I latched onto that. Hey, speaking of something that's super fun and also oh so comfortable, let's take a minute to talk about the Liga Undercrown Coronita tins from our friends over at Drew Estate. Seen any of these in your local shops yet?
I have not.
You will. Drew Estate has released just a ton of smaller variations of some of their most popular cigars. Okay. And we're going to talk just for a second about the Undercrown variation, a cigar which we've been smoking for years, obviously. These 4x32, so basically a little bit bigger than a cigarillo, I guess.
Yeah.
Short smokes are perfect for this time of year. Liga Underground cigars are a Liga Privada created by Drew Estates torcederos for their own personal enjoyment. Their unique Mexican Odapan Negro Ultimo Corte wrapper harvest is delayed by over 4 weeks, resulting in a higher natural sugar content and a richer, creamier flavor.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
It is nice. I've been smoking when I first got into cigars, Underground came out like a year later, and that was like the big, if you're on a budget and you couldn't afford the Ligas, this was a premium smoke at just an insane, still to this day, an insanely comfortable price point.
Yeah.
And man, I've always got a box of just the regular Maduro Undergrounds in the humidor. It also features a Brazilian Mata Fina and Nicaraguan long fillers, T52 Connecticut stock cut and cured Habano binder, and you got a smoke that's lush, smooth, sweet, and so marvelously complex, you'll definitely want more and more and more and more.
Oh, yeah.
Sound about right?
It is.
So what are you waiting for? Order yourself a handful of tins today. You can find them at our friend, FamousSmokeShop.com has them, or go to your local brick and mortar. They're out there. Do it. Like right now, do it.
Tuesday.com.
Back to Hooper. Back to beer. Oh boy, that really makes the throat better. So Hooper hopped up on pain meds and giggling his super cool ass off. Jumps in his pickup truck, which is it just me? Oh, I'm a lifelong Ford guy, but is this
It's a
not
Dodge, baby.
Colt Seaver's? No, it's a GMC.
Oh, is it?
Colt Seaver's GMC sidestep from the Fall Guy.
Close to it. And I think this is probably where they took the inspiration
I think this
from.
was the inspiration for Colt Seaver's. And
It's a sweet looking truck,
Lee
man.
Majors. This is a GMC step side. I'm fairly positive that's what the Fall Guy used too.
Yes.
But man, like I said, I've always driven Fords, but I would drive that baby in a heartbeat. Wearing this shirt,
Listen to some Trace Atkins
driving
drives.
backwards down the highway, chugging Coors.
Well, now that you say it, I mean...
What happened to Cade? He's locked up for like 20 years. He got that GMC step-side truck, and within an hour, he was in federal prison.
Lifelong dream. Done.
Mr. Cade, do you recognize how many laws you broke? And Mr. Cade, you're never going to see your wife or children again. This isn't a movie, Mr. Cade. Make a note. I don't need one of those trucks.
No.
Don't even think about getting me one of those trucks. No step-side GMCs for Cade. I have no self-control. I have very little self-control. You said that way too fast.
No. No, I didn't.
Well, he jumps in his truck and he rides home to the waiting arms of his girlfriend Gwen, played by the always lovable and here just a little bit thick, which is I wasn't quite ready for those feelings. Super sexy Sally Field. Boy, she's cute in this. Oh, she's always cute, but kind of in a wholesome kind of.
Not this time.
She was the flying nun, for God's sake.
She was flying nun.
I had very impure thoughts when I saw her in those white little
Definitely got
shorts.
something else flying, am I right, boys? that was
Get it! Boy, yeah, she wears these little white tighty shorts, and she even has like boobs in this. Like,
Go on.
I don't know what Sally Field this is, but I wish she made more of the.
I'm just liking the 70s hair, man.
Yeah, the hair. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what we were concentrating
She
on.
also had great hair. Wonder what conditioner she used, Yax. What do you
She
think?
No idea.
Vidal Sassoon. Just for that sassy Sally Field.
When you're on the set all day with James Best of Dukes of Hazzard fame, you want to look your best. Pert. With built-in conditioner. Let's see about getting them to sponsor the show.
And
Actually, maybe one of us should contact them. Well, her cute little face is waiting on the front porch for him in some tiny little white. I've made like several references to these shorts she
White
was wearing.
shorts. Reference number 5. Okay. We're
White shorts. And dude, she's got a cold can of Coors Banquet beer in each hand, waiting for him to come home with a beer in each hand. He gives her a giant hug. Grabs
happy
that, grabs
this is
that little ass
recorded
a
on
little
National
bit.
Women's Day.
Hey, we've done a lot. This is
He
as best bet as we get.
He cups both of those delicious beers.
Well, it's National Women's Day. We should do a Sally Field movie. How crazy can that get? Her short little short shorts. Hooper grabs a handful of ass. I feel weird having sexual thoughts about Sally Field, don't you? She's so sweet and like innocent.
Not 1978 Sally Field.
Yeah,
1978 Sally Field was rather nice.
she's still
Now,
she's
like
still way too nice.
1994, Forrest Gump's mom. Then yeah, there's a little.
All right, well, I guess I'm the only one that feels weird about looking at Sally Field that way.
I don't have a problem with it. No.
Well, he gives her a giant hug. He grabs one beer can, feeds it to his horse, sticks it in the mouth.
Of course.
The horse is like chugging it, like just head back, just going crazy. And then he chugs the other one, and they head inside. Coley called ahead to ask Gwen to talk to Hooper about the chugging of pain pills, but Hooper ain't having it. I'm in pain, so I take pain pills. Easy as that.
Logical.
That's what they're there for.
That's what the doctor signs off on.
Well, Gwen lets it go and tells him, look, if you can just agree to make an effort to toss your hundreds of empty beer cans within 25 feet of the trash can, we can coexist, okay? No, you know what? She's like, make it 10 feet, and we can live together and be happy. I'll forget about the alcoholism and the pain pills. She'll be a happy woman. Holy shit, only in the movies, right?
If you would just make
Who
it
doesn't
easier
want
for
that?
me to clean up after your drunk ass.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to meet me at the doorstep with 2 beers. A beer for me and a beer for my horse. And all I got to do is try to get
Is
within
throw
10
your
feet
beer
of that
cans a
man.
little closer.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they might as well cast a talking cartoon dragon as his love interest in this film. Chicks like this don't exist.
No, they do not.
And my first instinct upon watching this and their relationship was, oh, I want that in my life. But then my second instinct was, oh yeah, you'd be dead yesterday. Dudes like us need a bit of discipline in our lives. Am I correct?
Oh yes.
Oh yes. I might have blown out a vocal cord there.
Oh, no.
Did that mess up the board? Yeah, no. Boy, on one hand, you're always like, man, that would be so great. On the other hand, it's like, well, it's not a value to seek in a partner if you want any kind of longevity. But boy, they sure like each other, and you can tell it. Just like him and Bess, you can tell that they're.
Yeah, there's chemistry.
You
there.
buy
There's always been
you buy their
between them
chemistry
two. Yeah.
immediately. Real quick, before we move on from this loving couple, or see what's next. Boy, this cigar has changed a lot for me once I hit almost to the mid.
Yeah.
It's funny, it has a huge band on it. I just took it off. The band
Right.
reaches well past the midway point. I'm getting some strength that wasn't there earlier on. I'm getting some nice, like we mentioned, spice on the nose, which is back, but it still has that creaminess.
Yeah.
But I'm getting just a really strong Nicaraguan earthiness here at the midway point, and that cocoa is still there. So you've got that kind of mild chocolate with Nicaraguan earth, creamy on the retrohale. I know you guys have been getting a lot of graham cracker on the retrohale, but where I was kind of that first half, I'm not even quite to I'd say first third and chunk, I was a little underwhelmed. Just it was a good cigar, but nothing. All of a sudden, this thing is really. Hit your cowboy hat with your cigar. James Best never did that.
Oh, James Best always did that.
I think he did it in the movie, actually. Boy, this cigar is really I said we hope for some complexity. All of a sudden, I'm getting some stuff in here that wasn't happening for me earlier on. What do you guys
I have
think?
not gotten that at all.
No,
The-
same old stuff. Huh?
The creaminess went through the roof.
Yeah,
I mean, it is just absolutely like.
agreed.
So I mean, the sweetness, Graham is gone, but that creaminess, the cocoa, boom, right there.
Yeah, I'm
And that's all the sweetness I'm getting now.
I'd say
is
the main-
from
the
almost
main-
that chocolate flavor.
Yeah, the main thing that's I think has really stepped this up a notch, where I'm from an enjoyment level, is just that the earthiness all of a sudden showed up, which I can only attribute to the Nicaraguan filler. I'm going to give the creaminess.
I'm missing that earthiness. I'm missing that nice profile on there. I'm getting I'm pretty close to what Yak's is experiencing. I got a lot of creaminess on it, a little bit of hint of cocoa as well.
It's tasty.
But I'm not getting a power off of it.
I should say this, as tight as the draw was, which I think we've all moved past that when smoking fine now.
Yeah.
I've had a really perfect burn line. The ash has held on considerably, good over an inch long ash. So yeah, I'll come back to it final third if you guys anything sooner. And
yeah, it's a nice smoking cigar. It's a very pleasant cigar to smoke. I'll put it that way. Once we opened it up a little bit and fixed that draw, yeah, it's got a nice little flavor too.
Okay, I'll come back and it's just going so good with these. I like this beer, man.
Yeah, you're not going to hear me complain about the beer.
No, you know what I'm going to say? We always say on the show that's a good summer beer. That's a really good summer beer when you're outside like those. This is a good spring beer. I know we're not in spring yet, but I could see me drinking a lot of this in spring.
Yeah.
It's not balls hot outside, but it's got some of that what you like in a hotter weather beer, the refreshing.
It's, it's light, but it still has those flavors from those dark malts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's
which is weird, hard to pull off a crispy with caramel and black Kolsch. That should be a superhero. I'm gonna go with you on that one. All right, well, back to the movie. Next, can we get a TNCC thing that swirls around when we come back from our hundreds of bathroom breaks? Hey, if you were like Cully, you'd hook me up to a catheter and run the tubing down my leg, so I wouldn't have to.
Do you get paid Cully money?
Till I start getting paid Cully money.
All right.
Looked at his lifestyle. He wasn't getting paid that much.
No.
Well, it was the 70s. Inflation, adjusted dollars being what they are.
He was not wearing the same quality of denim that Hooper was wearing.
Definitely
Hooper
didn't
had
have
fine denim.
Definitely didn't have that stitching down there on those bell bottoms.
Now you can tell
Embroidered.
Cully had stitched his own patches on his jean jacket. It was like the big, a patch this big, but it only went around 4 times. I took a lot of home ec in middle school. I know what it's supposed to look like. Well, the next day, Hooper shows up on set, performs a fairly easy to us zip line fall. He swings down a zip line holding a dog and falls into a big air mattress.
Come on, dude. Step it up.
Goes to the trailer. Cully gives him a painkiller syringe full of happy juice right into his butt cheek.
I like
remember,
how
this is his friend that was lecturing him and so worried about his painkiller usage is now injecting painkillers into his ass. You guys could learn something from him. And he's back at home by lunch. He had one stunt that day, and he's home. A guy's there hanging out drinking a beer with Gwen, waiting to talk to Sonny into doing a charity stunt show that weekend. Hooper grabs the half-drank Coors can from the guy, sits down, and starts drinking it. I don't know why. I just thought that was a good move. Show up at your house, and a guy's sitting there with your girl drinking a beer.
Drinking your beer.
He grabs the beer from the guy and just starts drinking it. Without taking his ever-present... I've never seen a Hollywood movie, where the main lead guy never takes his gum out of his mouth. Hooper's always chomping on bubble gum in this movie. And somehow it works.
It's Burt Reynolds. The magic of Burt.
Well, finally, the guy brings out a little kid who idolizes Hooper, and he agrees to do the show. For the kids, as it always is with these things. I just love that. You can chat with my girl, but that beer.
Why don't you take my beer, man?
Can you imagine what his beer fridge looks like?
I'm imagining it's just a beer, like, stacked. I mean, I imagine a fridge, but then, like, literally just beer stacked around the fridge, also being shoved into the fridge. Just
It's like the
open it.
It's like that scene in Smokey and the Bandit when they open up the rig, or they're closing the rig after they've loaded it up with cases of Coors, and it's like to the actual door.
It fits
from floor
perfectly.
from floor to ceiling.
That's Hal Needham for you. He needed them in the Coors.
I need you to specially design this big rig trailer to fit beer cases perfectly.
I actually did a little bit of research
We
on
want
the
to
break.
design it 6 cubits by 6 cubits.
Director Hal Needham was actually killed underneath a pallet of Coors banquet beers. He was loading it up for a stunt.
That and it's always nice.
the way we all want to go.
It's always nice to look at those nice, sweet ass retro cans that they had.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
The old pull tops.
Yeah. We drank, on a side note, we used to drink the piss out of that stuff. I was never a Coors Light fan.
Yeah.
Even before craft beer, and when you were a kid, you just would drink
Anything.
I never really cared for Coors Light, but man, I always loved that High Life and banquet beers were kind of, and Pearl.
Yeah.
We drink a lot of
Pearl.
Pearl, Lone Wolf style. But yeah, I wanted a Coors badly watching this movie. Man,
Yes.
I was already drunk on red wine, which is not Hooper style.
I was about to say, I think we were. No, we were drinking High Life. Yeah.
No, I meant later when I came out and did my notes.
Oh.
I've watched this movie 4 times this week. Mainly just to feel better about my own drinking. At least I'm not Hooper.
For God's sakes, he's driving backwards on the highway.
Well, man, we go to this charity stunt show, and it has a lot of everything.
It's balls.
Cowboys shooting Indians off rooftops, motorcycles and cars flipping upside down. Even Gwen's legendary stuntman father, Jocko, played by Brian Keith, star of one of my favorite all-time westerns, Sam Peckinpah's The Deadly Companion. You ever seen that one?
I don't think I have.
Oh, man. I love
Yeah.
that.
And I like this guy.
He's great in that. He was the dad from The Parent Trap, the original
Yes.
Parent Trap
Yeah.
movie. Well, he gets into the action as well. Punches a cowboy into the horse trough. That's about all he can do at this point. He's not because of his age. He just drinks a lot.
Yeah.
He's always got a bottle of Jack Daniels in his hand, and it's an impressive stunt show for a charity.
Man, this is like that Disney stunt show, except done twice over.
But
I
it's
mean,
like the whole thing takes place in a little old-timey western town, but there's cars and motorcycle. It's crazy.
It's really, really cool.
High-
I mean, heck, if you're going to have a movie about a stuntman, I guess you ought to perform some stunts in it.
Well, speaking of which, the highlight of the day, without a doubt, is when the kid, the new hotshot stuntman on the scene, jumps out of a helicopter above the charity event, parachutes down, and then releases his parachute mid-air, falling expertly into the center of an airbag. Unlike most of the stunts in this movie, this one clearly has been edited.
Yeah, where it's broken up.
Like, there's a lot of cool real stunts in this thing.
Yeah.
But they show him, like, close up, and then they release it, and, like, I would have liked to see that stunt in real time. That would have been impressive. But anyway, the kid is clearly an up-and-coming star. And the kid is named Ski. His nickname's Ski. And he's portrayed by young heartthrob at the time, according to my mother, Jan Michael Vincent. This was 6 years after the movie I first remember him in, the Charles Bronson 1972 Hitman movie, The Mechanic,
Yes.
and then 6 years before Airwolf. It's kind of right in the middle there.
Cue that sweet theme
This is
music.
the music you're like. Doctor should really be here for that.
Can we just put in some like little blueprints back here of beer cans and
Apparently, he was a heartthrob back then. He was like a Brad Pitt, if you will, back in the day,
yeah, I can see that.
according to my mother.
I don't know. I just remember that sweet ass helicopter.
And And those gray little tight jumpsuits that he
No, it was more of an Ernest Borgnine.
and
fan.
Ernest Borgnine wore.
It was really tight on him because I mean,
I
just
think Bernhoin
we've
just.
only got one size. It was Jan's size, so you just squeeze into it.
I think he just wore the pants and had like a white undershirt on in the helicopter. Yeah. So Jan Michael Vincent is the new guy on the scene.
In the opening where he's playing the cello on the dock at the very end of it.
Serenading the eagle, or is it a condor? I don't know.
You know who doesn't care? Hooper and me. I am kind of like Hooper. We both wear these shirts everywhere.
This is literally the first time I've ever seen you in denim shirt.
Oh, yes. Yes. You've seen me wear this thousands of times.
Sweet denim jacket, yes. Denim shirt, no.
Sweet denim jacket.
Sweet denim. You guys get any notes of sweet denim on the cigar?
No.
Well, Hooper finagles his way into competing against Ski in the big Roman chariot race. They also have one of those in
Why?
this western
it
town.
doesn't even look just. I mean, they're like in a western town, but they're like cars and
it's like the guy,
mobsters.
He's driving a Roman chariot driven by horses, shooting Indians off rooftops. It makes no sense. Yeah, this I'd buy a ticket to this show.
Dang
Oh my
straight.
god.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, he wants
Sign
to see
me up.
He wants to see what the kid's really made of, so he tricks the guy competing, Hammerhead, this old dummy stuntman, into leaving, and he takes over, and they do a pretty impressive little horse race. Hey, I just have a thought. At any point, would you consider hosting one of these charity stuntman shows at the pub?
Absolutely. But if you want to just be dragged around on asphalt,
No, I just meant like have Indians up on the balcony, falling off, and maybe I could ride a motorcycle through.
That'd be pretty cool.
I could drive a motorcycle through the front door.
we're only going to be able to afford like one airbag. So you just have to fall off the building in the same spot.
Oh God, here comes Cade in the Roman chariot. Yeah. 17 people killed at local pub when drunk ass drives Roman chariot.
Why did they put blades on the wheels? This hasn't been her.
I have to look for every advantage you can take. It's for charity. It's for the kids, Cade. Again, the judge. We let you out on bail.
After that backwards truck incident, we thought you had learned your lesson.
You killed 19 handicapped children with that Roman chariot in that pub. First of all, why were all those kids in the pub?
Don't look at me. It's your charity event.
Cody Leschker thinks that kids should drink beers. Is that who you want as your county commissioner? I know I don't. What does a county commissioner do?
Commissions
Exactly.
all over the place.
All over the place?
All over the place.
Within the county.
If you see it within the county, he's commissioned on it.
Interesting. All right. Well, they have a good race, and it turns out Hooper saves young Ski's ass. His chariot breaks free, and he's getting dragged across the thing.
But I can't figure out why doesn't just let go of the reins. I mean,
Well, he's getting dragged by the reins, and Hooper comes up and scoops him up.
Isn't
and
that part of the gag?
it could have been part of the act. I couldn't really tell.
Either that or Hooper actually was the one who
Pulled the bolts
bolts.
out of the thing. Could be. That would be a job for Coley.
see Coley back there with a flask and his wrench.
So he then, not only did he save Ski and be the hero of the charity show, Hooper's not done yet. He rides his trusty horse over to Ski's El Camino that's parked nearby and backs the horse's ass up to it. And this is how cool Hooper is. He can tell his horse, poop, caca, buddy. And he just takes a big dump all over Ski's car.
It's a well-trained animal right there.
But I also love
think you do get a
the
classic Hooper laugh there too, and when you hear like the horse.
But I mean, they just don't get it with the real
Hooper's
horse.
basically
But
a
I do
12-year-old
love
kid.
this
Yes,
little
he
bit of
is.
editing where it is the fake horse's ass with the fake tail lifting up.
It's a stun horse.
Stun horse.
Basically, he sweet talks that horse into taking it up. Is there any creature on earth Hooper can't sweet talk into doing what he wants?
At this
I don't
point,
think
no.
so. No.
Well, that director, Ronald Deal. But sweet raisins. Hey, speaking of sweet raisins, you interested at all, Yak Boy, in experiencing some new and unique flavors in a cigar?
Yes, I am.
Promise?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to tell you a little something now. Let's talk briefly about the Acid Crush Tins from our friends at Drew Estate. We talked about the Undercrown earlier. This is another. They come in little 5-pack tins. All Acid cigars are carefully handcrafted using some of the world's finest tobacco with more than 140 herbs, botanicals, and other essential oils to get their unique aroma and flavor. Sounds a lot like that shampoo you were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. Have you guys had a lot of experience with Acid cigars?
Yeah, Cuba.
Cuba, Blondie.
Yeah.
When I first got into cigars, smoked a lot of the Acid One. It's the red wine infused cigar. Really, really good.
Yep.
I actually brought one for my follow-up cigar tonight. It's been a while, and I knew we were going to be talking about them, so I'm looking forward to that. Experiencing Acid cigars is the only way to understand them. Similar to all Drew Estate cigars, their construction is flawless since they are rolled in Sumatra, Maduro, Connecticut, and African wrappers. Head on out to your favorite cigar retailer now, grab a tin of 5 Acid Crushes. Let us know what you think. They're definitely a different experience.
Yeah, they are.
That is not marketing hype. There's nothing like them out there. And like I said, I sure like the Acid One. I brought a Cuba. I haven't had one in years, so see what that's all. See, if memory serves me right, I remember enjoying it.
Yep.
So yeah, try one out. Let us know. After an insane caravan down PCH, is that PCH yet?
The Pacific Coast Highway.
I got that right.
Yes.
All right. I figured ocean's on the left. It's got to be a PCH.
Well, what if you're going the other direction? It's on the right.
Get out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. That was good. Well, all the stunt crew are basically, they left set, and they just have this insane caravan ride down the highway. They're swerving, trying to knock each other out.
Well,
there's chicks in the back.
They're in the back of the Subaru Brat in chair. This was a classic of the 70s. Chairs in the bed of a truck, facing the opposite direction. Seatbelts? Optional.
Oh, man.
Well, if they get in a wreck, they'd be padded by all those beer cans around them.
They are literally throwing beers between cars.
They're throwing beers at each other, not like angrily, but like so they can catch them and drink them.
Right.
They're bumping each other's cars with the chicks in the back.
And they're just laughing.
They're laughing, having a good time.
And apparently everybody in these cars are all stunt people.
Correct.
They're I mean, they've got the thing where they're like jumping between cars while they're moving at I'm going to assume that's an insane speed, but obviously it's in 78, so we're just going to go, it's like 55.
Well, at one time, at one point, Hooper runs out of road beers, and he figures it'd be easier for him to reach if he was on the other side. So he jacks the steering wheel, spins around, and then starts flying down the highway in reverse. So he could literally, for the reason he can reach over and grab a case of beer easier.
Tut style.
You pulled that stunt? No. Man, let's face it, none of us are. We may have an image of ourselves in our heads, but this scene alone, just like, we're nothing.
We're
navel limp.
Yeah, but if our beer runs out, I could see us trying it.
We will go to lengths. I'm not saying we won't. And now that I found this shirt in the closet, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff we haven't been doing. Especially you and me, pal. Well, they finally arrive at their destination, their favorite watering hole, the Palomino Club.
Oh, this place looks awesome.
And just like that, Terry Bradshaw's there with some other tough guys wanting to cause some trouble. You see, Terry and his SWAT team buddies don't appreciate Hooper's loud and rowdy table. Did you guys notice this? At the table, it's also like a barbecue joint.
Yeah.
Because they're all there to eat dinner. Their table is littered with barbecue and food and beers. Mm-hmm. But once again, Gwen's dad, Jocko's got a giant thing of Jack Daniels. He just brings it with him everywhere?
Yeah.
Yes. It's Jocko. You don't question that.
Again, we're nothing compared to these men. So anyway, Terry and this guy stroll over to quiet the stuntman down a notch.
This guy.
This guy?
This
Come on.
guy.
Robert Tessier.
What movie does he play a principal?
You're thinking of the dude from Back to the Future. They're two different dudes.
Is that
No.
what I'm thinking of? I think you're right.
This guy has been notable across many. He's besides also being a stuntman.
Longest Yard, baby.
Yes.
Well, no, I recognize him from that, but I could have swore he played a principal. I think you're right, though. I think it was Back to the Future.
You know how
Oh,
all
no,
those
no, no, no.
bald
That was,
guys look alike.
I thought it was 3 O'Clock High, that movie with, but it wasn't. I looked it up.
No.
Was it Teen Wolf? Was he? I could have swore he was in an '80s movie as a hard-nosed principal.
I can't remember him ever
Maybe
being
he
a principal.
Maybe he was, but you're describing the dude.
Yeah, and he was bald in Back to the Future, right? The
They
principal.
all look alike.
I'm right here. I can hear everything you're saying. For God's sakes, we're recording.
If you'd worn that toupee, we wouldn't have this.
Oh,
Oh, I love this dude. He's got a great look.
He really does, and he's instantly recognized. Yeah, he has been in a ton of
Yeah.
stuff. But you know what? They put money in that jukebox, and they can't hear their music. All they can hear is Hooper's. He's laughing at everything. He's so drunk. Well, Hooper's like, I got this, and he puts on a stunt helmet, a motorcycle helmet, puts his head down, and runs head
Right into
first
the jukebox.
Into the jukebox, goes right through it, ruining
which
the jukebox.
I'm asking the question like, okay, you just put on that, but you just literally dove head first into a glass and like mechanical parts. I'm like, you're gonna get cut up. There's just no way.
Not Hooper.
Not Hooper.
Hooper still tries to play nice with the guys afterwards. So where are you from? Chewing his gum. Houston. We're here for a convention. Convention of assholes? And of course, all his buddies laugh, which really pisses Terry Bradshaw off to no end. Convention of assholes. It was awesome. So Reynolds does his trademark laugh one more time, and as they get into his face, he starts doing a head count real quick. He's like, "Oop, 12 against 6. Looks like unfair fight." And then young Ski, Jan Michael Minson, comes up.
12 against 7.
12 against 7. And a fight breaks out.
And the fight breaks up. Well, and it
But
classic.
Burt does say one cool line. You're like, "Oh, you guys better go get some more guys."
But then
Yeah.
he does the classic as he turns back around real quick, punches him in the face.
Bradshaw
And Bradshaw
looks
just doesn't
back
even
and
does anything. He's like,
smiles.
okay, we're in trouble.
and then he takes the second punch in the face, and Bradshaw takes it and then takes the tooth out of his
Oh, he's got a
mouth,
huge
and then just
missing tooth in his...
smiles at him. It's like, yeah, now we're definitely. And then one of the greatest bar fight scenes out there came through. This was an awesome bar fight scene.
It really was, because it was unlike Roadhouse and some of the other ones we've had on the show. It was just fun.
Oh, it was very fun.
What I love more than anything is the person playing pool looks up, fight, and then just hits the person playing pool with them. They're not even involved.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. This fight is so crazy. Sally Field is knocking dudes. Sally Field's hitting guys with beer bottles.
By the way, that was not Mickey Gilley at the piano. I had to look him up. I thought it was, but it wasn't. No, really, the only thing missing from this fight, since you mentioned Roadhouse, is I kind of wanted Terry Funk to be somewhere around there.
He looks like he should have been. Terry Funk looked in 1988 like these
did
guys
in
did in 78. That dude doesn't change. Well, everybody's
Terry
punching
Funk is
everybody.
immortal.
Like I said, Sally Field, she's sitting there trying to eat a baked potato when she's minding her own business, but she's knocking dudes out. She's seen it all before. She's been dating Matt Cade for how many? I'm sorry, Hooper for how
Well,
many
not
years?
to mention that, but Jocko's her father, the guy with the Jack Daniels bottle.
True.
What would have been
everywhere.
great if he was punching dudes with his Jack Daniels bottle. It's just keep going.
In fact, it's so much fun that despite the thousands of punches thrown and the thousands of dollars of property damage, Terry Bradshaw and his crew become best friends with Hooper and the boys.
Yeah, after they get thrown out.
They get thrown out. Finally, the bouncers
Through
throw
the
them all out the
window.
window. They crash through a window out by the dumpster.
What I love is that the bouncers are like, you know what? We probably have doors and like ways to get people out of this place. No, the window.
Oh, and by the way, let's instead of throwing our trash out in the dumpster back there, let's just put it all in the front of our establishment here. Like 10
Let's face it.
paces from the-
If you're coming to the Palomino Club, you're going to go in regardless of what's going on outside.
That's true.
But no, they're laying there, but amongst all these trash bags.
Yeah.
And they just start laughing.
It was a good old East Texas friendly fight.
And they start shaking hands.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's over. So much so that
back in the day when you could take an ass whooping without worrying about somebody pulling the gun on
exactly. No guns here. In fact, Hooper likes these crazy bastards so much. Everybody back to my place. After party. So back to the house they go. Is it just me, or is this whole Palomino Club scene and everything that goes along with it? Are you seeing that maybe 3 out of the 5 Barn Smoker events this year? That's how it's gonna go.
I'm hoping.
It'll probably be the first one that we're involved with, and then that will be the last one that we're involved with.
I couldn't help but notice there was no large pile of trash anywhere. What kind of party is this?
We'll be thrown out on giant piles of tobacco leaves.
Because I could definitely see me going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, looks like it's going to be an unfair fight. Y'all need to go get some more men.
That's dead.
Especially if that one bald dude hits me, I'm broken.
Note to self: grow mustache, buy bubble gum before Barn Smoker events.
Well, I can take the bald guy spot, but I'm going to need to get juiced up.
Just jacked.
No, you're getting the Coley denim vest and the Percocets and the
thank God.
syringes.
Thank God.
Well, I'm just going to be
And alcohol.
shooting myself in the butt with them.
And you're gonna need alcohol swabs. Gotta be safe.
Well,
gonna
that's
need
true.
to.
That's true.
So while everyone else is soon passed out at Hooper's place, for a bunch of heavyweight drinkers and fighters, well, they didn't make, a lot of them didn't make it to.
Well, we don't know what time it is.
Well,
either.
we know dawn is upon us, because Hooper and Ski are the last men standing. You see all these big dudes just passed out in the living room, slumped.
What are they watching?
Slumped over. Sonny is showing Ski his stuntman highlight reel on a 16mm projector, which includes a lot of air stunts and whatever, and the river scene from Deliverance. Which they work in there.
Which they pretty much highlight like every single movie Burt's done to this point.
Well, a lot of it, the air stuff, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that was stock footage, but boy, that
I'm not talking about just the sequence itself, but I'm talking about every little aspect in this movie, from the Pontiac jackets to
it's a Burt Reynold
to the Florida State shirt.
It's a love fest. It's a Burt love fest. It is like I said, I think the most Burtish movie of the bunch. And that's not a bad thing.
I just thought it was pretty cool seeing him in the Deliverance clip in there.
It is a little meta.
And by the way,
a little real life.
Some slack to the guys passed out there. They'd been fighting, which we never, we don't.
We're too lazy to.
Yeah, we're too lazy to do that. Oh, and that was after the stunt show from.
Oh, that's right. They had
the amazing stunt show.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. After racing in a Roman chariot race, shooting 10,000 Indians. Oh, I jumped out of a helicopter, too.
By the way,
then I got involved in a 2-hour-long bar brawl after drinking 4 bottles of whiskey. Oh, I'm sorry, Kate, I passed out.
Speaking of passing out, why don't you pass out another one of those?
You're right. These guys did have a full day. And who knows what they were doing at that SWAT convention.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they got into some antics there. Well, it's evident that Ski respects the catalog of work that another beer for you. Well, you guys are keeping me busy tonight.
Yeah, I like the fact that this wasn't a
rivalry.
A rivalry.
No, that could have been the easy way to do this, but that would have called for this to be a much more serious movie.
Yeah.
Any chance you get for this movie to be serious, they take. They get close.
Yeah,
but then they just.
But it was neat because they didn't. It was actually kind of deftly done, because the old versus young guy was still in there. There was the old guy coming to grips with his oldness. That was in there. Like, yes, I was cracking up. Well, we haven't got there. I'll
there's basically 3 generations of. There's Jocko. There's
Burt.
Hooper. And then there's Ski.
Yeah.
But there is, you're right, deftness is a very good word. There's a respect, and there's not, a lot of these, like the mechanic with Jim Michael Vincent, he was out to upstage Charles Bronson, and
Yeah.
he's the young new generation of hitmen, and
Yeah.
it was always a rivalry, even during the training stuff. This is not that. This is, and I expected it to be.
Yeah. I thought that's the way that they would play it.
No, this is just a young guy who wants to learn and be. And I mean, let's give this movie some credit. If you're young Ski, who's like 20 something in this, and you start hanging around Hooper's crowd, you're just gonna want to be a part of this. You're not gonna want to. I want to watch you and your stuntman buddies burn. No, you want to party with them.
Exactly.
You losers and your weak stunts. You're all going down. The exact same stunt you're just doing? Yes. But I'll do it better.
Did you see the two naked chicks in the back of the Subaru passing out cores there, buddy? All right, I'll hang out with you and I'll be nice instead. I'm sorry.
Just this once in your lame parties.
Should we pool all our money together and get a Subaru Brat with some seats in the back?
I was seriously
Yes.
thinking about it.
I used to love riding in the back.
We
of
really need
trucks
to put
with
that out there on the internet. We really need one of these. Some guy's got one just sitting in a barn somewhere collecting dust.
Oh, God,
Well,
those two chicks are still hanging out in the back of it. Hey, lover. Oh, God.
January 1st, 1980. I put it away. 70s were over.
We found the one site that would make Burt spit out his gum.
There it is, stuck to the wall. Oh, no.
Well, I say, there is some obvious respect here for what Hooper and Jocko have accomplished over the years. But he's clearly young, hungry, and, despite that respect, he wants to make a name for himself doing stunts that have never been done before. As Tut said, all handled very maturely and well.
Yeah.
Hooper steps outside to discover it's daylight. I love when that happens. 2 hours from now style. And Jocko, old Jocko, stumbles out a few minutes later holding his bottle of Jack. That thing's like Bob Dole's pencil. Never leaves his hand. Hooper's massaging his beat up legs out by the pool or whatever, and in the best line of the movie, Jocko looks at him. You should drink more. Nothing hurts when you're numb.
Sage advice.
So wise.
Yeah.
It's like Socrates, Plato, Jocko.
Jocko.
Socrates. Was that Bill and Ted? They called him that?
Yeah.
And I think I might have just discovered my first tattoo. Did you get that right across my forearm? Nothing hurts when you're numb. Drink more. Jocko. Maybe get a little picture of Jocko next to it. His little smiling face. That should be a chest tattoo. So when I wear this shirt without an undershirt, this is what I live by. Sir, you're not allowed in Olive Garden.
Why do you have Ryan Dennehy on your chest?
He does look a little Brian Dennehy is. It's Frankie. Right? These are the talks I'll have with the hostess at Olive Garden. Sir, we're all Brian Dennehy fans. It's not Brian Dennehy. It's, well, that was terrible. Well, as
That was a good one.
you're drinking, keep drinking. That's the key. Well, over whiskey and cigars, funny how that brings out the wisdom. Jocko tells Hooper that Ski reminds him of a young Hooper when he was nipping at Jocko's heels as the new guy in the scene. He also drunkenly, really convincingly, he was drunk during the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody plays drunk this good. Drunkenly pressures Hooper to marry his daughter. What are you waiting for? Even faggots are getting married these days. that gets a laugh out of Hooper. Maybe that's why this movie isn't streaming anywhere. Maybe it's been banned.
It could be.
The TNCC is pro equal equality and marriage for everyone. Jocko was from a different time.
Sports.
It's covered all our bases. We also like sports. And Subaru Brats.
And Subaru Brats.
Any other Subaru? No way.
No.
Hooper turns out had a bad first marriage. and he wants to do things on his own timetable, Hooper style. He doesn't say that. I would if I was Hooper. I'd use that all the time. It's a really nice, honest, all homophobic references aside.
Yeah.
It's a really honest kind of cool scene between these two guys.
Yeah.
One who's dating the guy's daughter. Like, every scene in the movie between guys, I buy in this movie. Like, real scenes, not like the bar fights and all that, but like the scenes between friends and all that. I mean, it's it's got some good acting in it. Although I don't think this was acting. I really think Jocko was toasted in this thing.
Agreed.
Brian Key said he'd do the film. You just need to come up with 8 cases of Jack Daniels.
Well, man, these fellows...
He's only on scene for 3 days.
These fellows live a hard-living life. Would y'all say, think about it for a second, that the modern-day equivalent to the classic Hollywood stuntman are podcasters like ourselves?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's nothing more hard. Well, you have to caveat like ourselves, because there's a lot of podcasts out there.
Oh, yeah.
But there's very few like ourselves.
I'm not talking about the Adam Carollas or the
And the podcast
Joe
like
Rogans
ourselves
or the, God forbid, the
are
Mark
a bunch
Marons
of hard-living, manly stuntmen like people.
or the Michael Rappaports. No, I'm talking about the real podcasters.
The guys just in the trenches day to day.
Well, once every 2 weeks. Well, it's because we're so drunk, we can only do this once every 2 weeks.
But we're prepping day to day.
We are prepping. Wake up the day before. When's the last time we did one of those things? What's it called?
That's called sobering up.
I need to
What is sober?
sobering up.
It's a OBER.
I need to make a big note of that. The next day on set, a severely hungover Hooper delivers a lackluster car start. It's not his fault. The director doesn't give a lot of what he wants. He's just like, do something, impress me. And
Lucas style.
the director doesn't like it. So Hooper tries to make it up to him. It's the director's birthday. He gets him a giant tittied stripper to jump out of a cake.
Is this that girl that always like runs onto the fields and stuff like that during this time?
Possibly. I
There was,
don't know.
there was like this really ginormous titted woman that would like run into like you would see her like at baseball games. She would just run onto the field. And they put her she got so famous at it, they put her in movies, and I think she's been in like a Burt Reynold movie before.
I honestly didn't look at her face.
It was hard.
I couldn't get past. These things were enormous. And she
Yes.
immediately starts slapping Robert Klein in the face with him and then buries his... And he's standing there just completely rigid and stoic and very uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm not sure who she was, but it was a touching gift.
Yes.
Which we would all very much appreciate, but your birthday's next week. Don't get your expectations up.
Oh,
Get the doctor to jump out of a cake for you.
again.
Well, it turns out also the director, because of Hooper's age and he's not really been blown away by anything creative wise by Hooper on this shot, picture so far. He takes a liking to the young hotshot Ski and instructs Hooper to give Ski a bigger role on the stunt team. But even here, when you'd think Hooper would be like, no, there's not a real rivalry here.
Yeah, I think he was more upset at the director. And
He was,
infringing
but he
on
never
him.
holds it against Ski.
And I don't know enough about the dynamic of a Hollywood set. I mean, is that something?
Well, first of all, here's the funny part. Ski wouldn't even be on that set if the night before at the Palomino Club, Hooper got so drunk he invited him.
yeah.
Because when Ski shows up, Hooper's
He's like,
like,
"What?
are you doing here?" And he's like,
I forgot about
you
that."
invited me last night. I did.
Well,
Style.
I'll just rewind
Totally
1 second. The lady jumping out of the cake was in such films as The Hand of Pleasure, A Fistful of 44s, Sexual Kung Fu in Hong Kong,
Oh, good one.
The Young Secretary, Deep Jaws. Big Bus Superstars.
Was Richard Dreyfuss in Deep Jaws?
God, I wish so.
Those jaws are way too deeper than is necessary. I actually starred in the film A Fistful of 40s back in college.
And the sequel. I saw the sequel. I missed the original one, but I did see two Fistful of 40s.
That was my senior year of college. Hey, I grew.
Yeah. But do they have, like on a Hollywood set, do they have that, like, I'm the stunt guy and I call the stunt shots? And
I think stunt coordinator, is primarily responsible for setting up the. But I mean, I think there's much more, and maybe we'll learn if we when we talk to our guest.
Yeah.
I imagine James Cameron on set doesn't roll up in his chauffeured car, grab a bullhorn, and say,
Action.
Impress me, action. I think he's a little more involved in the actual stunts.
I think so. All right.
We'll find out, maybe.
Maybe.
After Ski's highly successful first day on the job, he rappels down the skyscraper.
Oh, it was a great sequence.
And then releases himself, and then expertly does some rolls and shoots all these bad guys. Hooper and Coley are watching from the sidelines, and Hooper quips, I could have done that when I was younger. They just didn't make buildings this tall. We see a candid moment.
It was also nice because, like you said, it wasn't the rivalry. I mean, Coley was like, man, kid's good. Even Burt's like,
well,
yeah,
in fact,
good.
when Ski comes over to him, what'd you think, Hooper? He's looking for his approval, and Hooper's like, it's a little slow. Let's see it again. And Ski's like, you can see his heart break, and then he's like, you're kidding, right? And Hooper's like, yeah, I'm kidding. Like, they get along. It's nice. Well, then we see a candid moment where Hooper gets up in the middle of the night after watching Ski do all this cool stuff, and he creakily makes his way. Creakily? Is that a word?
Sure.
He's creaking. His bones are creaking. He makes his way over to the full-length mirror in the bedroom. He stares at himself in his navy blue little underwear, sucks in his gut, and just kind of starts really, for the first time in a long time, taking a close look at himself. Ski's forcing him to acknowledge his age, maybe for the first time. Everybody has an expiration day, boys. Everybody has an expiration day.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at Burt, like you said, at the apex of his career, and he's pinching like his fat on the side, which is like barely able to pinch anything. And I'm just like, dude, you're $1.75 at this point? Yeah, you're fat, Burt.
Everybody has an expiration date. Mine is 2 hours from now. Yeah, I mean, I think the idea here is more of maybe he sees what he feels.
Yeah.
Because you're right, he's clearly a slim guy.
Yeah.
But on the inside, he feels like he's 100 years old. Maybe that's body dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia.
A little bit. I don't know.
Could be.
When I look in the mirror, I see a young Jan Michael Vincent.
I know.
That's because it's not a mirror. It's just a picture of Jan Michael Vincent.
He's been living with me for 3 years. It's not a mirror. It's the doorway to his bedroom.
It's kind of...
And it's a really old Jan Michael Vincent. And the fact that I think I look good in that mirror is so confusing. All right.
I was talking to him earlier before the
60-year-old
show,
Jan
and he was
Michael
like, you know
Vincent.
what? The hardest thing with Kate is I have to mimic those movements, but, keeps the...
Can you believe he's still alive?
Not really.
Why not? He's been out on that lake playing the cello. He's got a great life.
Jan Michael has had anything but a good life.
The sad thing is he looks like he went like through. He didn't have any plastic surgery, but he ended up looking like
Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen him lately, so I don't know.
We may have to look him up on the next break and see. I think he might have had some amputations too.
Oh no.
Yeah, like he's had it rough.
Oh.
He kind of went downhill after Airwolf. But he's really good in this. Hooper is so concerned with proving his viability as a stuntman in the presence of Ski that the next day he performs a new record-breaking freefall from a helicopter. The old record was 223 feet, and he tells Coley make sure that pilot goes up to 224. And he's got a little fire in his belly. He expertly performs the stunt, which is shown unedited, which is beyond impressive. It's a really cool fall.
Yeah.
But despite his high fives and his trademark Hooper smile, when everyone else is kind of cleared, he tells Coley, "Take me to the doctor. I've got medical issues you can't solve." Roscoe P. Coltrane.
I need more than Percocet and whatever that is you've been injecting me with.
Why won't you let me look back there when you're injecting me in the ass with something? This doctor's visit is really something.
I love this doctor's visit.
As Hooper blows bubbles with his chewing gum, cracking jokes the whole time, the physician is puffing away on a cigarette
Gotta love it.
in the hospital.
70s.
Oh my God, in my notes, the 70s. Look, the 70s. Get out of my head, Tut. As he explains just how fucking wrecked Hooper's body is. "You're not a kid anymore," he warns, and he tells Sonny one more wrong fall and nothing below the neck will work right anymore. "Nothing?" Hooper says. And that's right, the doctor says, smoking on a cigarette. "Even your ding-dong." "If you were a horse, I'd shoot you," he says. It gets even worse. "Your ding-dong is one step away from not working, and if you were a horse, I'd shoot you."
I just really expect him to like walk in the room and hear a gunshot, like, "That would have been you."
And Hooper, who's got a cigar in his mouth, takes the cigarette out of the doctor's mouth like, "Look who's talking. You're smoking these things."
And then start smoking it.
It's such a bizarre scene.
It is really weird.
I wish our own doctor was here to offer his professional take. I'm guessing that is not a good diagnosis. "If you're a horse, I'd shoot you." Real quick, obviously things are tense if Hooper, sought out medical advice. You're done with your cigar.
Yes.
Final thoughts.
I like it. It was a very pleasant smoke all the way through.
It was a good flavor.
I never really got... Man, I don't know, because I can't say whether it was the beer or the cigar that had the strength in it. I don't think I ever really got a lot of strength in there. I started getting a
what
little...
I got there in the middle dissipated back to the same mild cocoa and
yeah,
creaminess. A little bit of nose, a little bit of something on the nose, but nothing.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was enjoyable.
It was a very enjoyable cigar.
Yeah, boy. Final verdict.
It was about the same. The chocolate was the primary sweetness that I have tasted thus far towards the end. And here at the end, it has heated up just a little bit, and I guess that's kind of helping to morph some of that flavor into more of like a pepper.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think that's a good description.
it's finishing really well with the nose spice and the chocolate and the creaminess.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys aren't going gaga over this, because as much time as you're like, "Man, I love the cream, I love the cream, I love the cream." To me, that was like the most distinctive flavor in it.
It is nice. I want to say maybe the reason I'm not harping on so much is when I will say this: the pairing worked.
Yeah.
But when I would take a drink of the beer's flavors certainly
maltiness would kinda
overwhelmed whatever was going on with the cigar.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way.
No.
I just think the beer has a little more personality than the cigar.
I can see that. I can completely see that.
From an impression standpoint. But they both left good impressions. How's that?
No.
Very much. You want to talk price point?
Yeah.
Go with you, Tut. What do you think?
I will go $9.50.
$9.50.
I'm adjusting for the... Ooh. Well, this has been in your humidor for a year. So it hasn't been affected by the... But if you're looking up today's prices with the tobacco increases...
I'm giving you today's price.
All right, with the tobacco increase, I'll go $9.50.
I'm going to say this is probably right around 11.
All right. I'm going to go 9 even. It is 9 even.
Wow, you are so smart.
Yeah, $9.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I think, 2 hours smoke, maybe?
Yeah.
Right around.
Easily.
I'll be smoking on this for a little bit longer. Boy, really after that first third came alive.
Yeah.
But
It was definitely a better cigar along that, like you said, after the first third.
I will also tell you, viewers and listeners of our show can visit LondonTobacconist.com, who has these guys in stock. Enter promo code TNCC at checkout and get a 20% discount.
Very nice.
That's a hot lead.
Hot
Very
lead.
nice.
Yeah. So, boy, I looked back at my notes from the show we did on the first one.
Yeah.
The absinthe infused, and boy, we really liked construction-wise and flavor.
Yeah.
So this is two Alpha offerings that we've liked.
Yeah.
I actually would like to go back and get one that maybe was way more absinthe to see what that experience is all about. But yeah, give it a thumbs up. All right. I will say we had talked a little bit about the cigar, maybe the beer being a little too strong and flavorful. That maybe. So as for science, I have switched the last third of the cigar. I'm going to be drinking a Coors Golden Banquet beer.
Golden, Colorado.
From Golden, Colorado, ironically. Yak Boy picked these up for our pregame and postgame festivities. By that I mean when we just sit around and stare at each other in silence before the show. Hooper style. It's a very Hooper-esque bottle of beer. I will not be pouring it into a pint glass because that's very un-Hooper-esque.
No.
You didn't see Jocko and Hooper using glasses.
Jack Daniels comes in a bottle that's made of glass. Why do I need one?
Well, we're going to learn that Jocko maybe should have done some things differently with his life here pretty soon. But yeah, boy, I haven't had one of these in a long time. Let me take a swig here. That is just terrible. And it's actually got a little bit of sweetness. It's got a little bit of sweetness on the back end.
That's
It's-
the oil from the dreadlocks that all the hipsters have been wearing as they've been touring.
No, that's from the water.
Like I said,
from
that's
the
oil
bold Rocky Mountains. It's in the water.
You'd think after how many years has Coors been in business, you think all the rivers and streams would be dried up by now. They just keep sucking all that water up for their beer. Is that not how it works?
That's not how it
Not
works
how
at
it
all.
works at all. All right, well, if you guys would like to try Coors,
It's a natural, renewable cycle. You drink it,
then you
you
piss
pee
in
it out,
the river.
they collect it, put it back in the bottle.
Circle life. Circle life, boys.
Oh, that's oddly specific.
I think that was the tree of life.
The next day on set, the director has fired a screenwriter. Who needs them, right? As he has re-envisioned the finale of the film to be an epic action, stunt-crazy masterpiece. Now he wants the ending scene to revolve around a major earthquake. That seems like a big choice. Taking place with buildings crashing down, car crashes galore. Young Ski pipes up, suggesting he could jump a car over an enormous gorge. That'd be cool. And Hooper's all on board.
Why wouldn't he be? Young guy's like, I can do it.
Yeah, but Hooper's excited. He's got like some spirit. This young guy's breathing some new life into Hooper.
Or maybe he's just high on pain pills. Who knows?
Who knows? Oh yeah, there was a scene in the meeting. Coley's injecting Hooper's ass with some happy stuff. Well, it'll take a rocket car to jump over the 300-foot chasm. I've heard it all three ways. Was it chism?
Yeah, because you just said it like all three ways.
Yeah, and I heard it.
I can never get the third laugh. It's the third one that really makes it Reynolds.
Well, this will be the longest jump ever performed on film, almost doubling the current record. It'll literally be, they say, the greatest stunt in movie history.
Bum, bum, bum.
And a smiling Hooper, he's always smiling, tells the director the biggest stunt calls for the biggest paycheck. So I want 50 grand for me and 50 grand for the kid, Ski. For some stupid, insane, moronic reason, I chose this moment in the film as Hooper reflects on his limited longevity, because this is like his swan song.
Yeah.
Get the big money. His ticking biological stuntman clock, if you will. To look up how old our buddy Burt was when he made this movie. I don't know why I do this. He's our fucking age.
175
a man at the end of his line. A man staring at his own mortality.
Broken and battered. He can't go on any longer.
He's our fucking
The drugs no longer mask
facing
the
the
pain.
decline of his own relevance.
He's our age.
He's our age. Gee, thanks, movies. Asshole.
And what was funny was we took a break just a few moments ago. Obviously, we have to use the restroom around here every once in a while. We acted like Hooper as we got up from our chairs. Like my knee gave out on me. His back was hurting. We like wobbled over to the restroom. I don't like where this movie's taking us.
Can't feel anything if you're numb.
Drink. Let's follow Jocko's wise wisdom. You know, my cousin DC, who we've talked about occasionally here on the show, my grandpa Cade gave him the nickname of Jocko when he was a little boy. And I was Hands. Grandpa had a nickname for everybody. I was Hands. He always called me Hands because I was always getting into shit. Going through drawers, the ladies. No, he was dead before I started messing around with girls. Anyway, but he called cousin BZ Jocko. And the kid grew up his whole life thinking it was because he was really good at sports. But it turns out there was a monkey on TV called Jocko, who my grandpa thought my cousin looked like. So the whole time, so at one like family gathering, finally, like when he was like, I don't know, in his 20s, he was bragging about his, yeah, you know, Grandpa always thought I was a really skilled athlete, and he saw it early on, and no, he thought you looked like a monkey.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Was it at least an adorable monkey?
No.
Oh, well.
It's like one of those little monkeys, I think, that plays the cymbals. Like the little one from Raiders Lost Ark. One of the
Tiny cymbal banging monkey.
weird monkeys. Anyway, don't ever look up how old somebody is in like an old... I remember last time I did it was Die Hard. And I was like, holy shit, I'm older than Bruce Willis in Die Hard? Well, that sucks. Ugh. And you know what? I'm going to go against Hooper. I'm going to pour this into a glass. I can't drink beers out of bottles anymore. I'm one of the top 11 beer experts in the world. I got to...
Wait,
No, it's a cigar
oh,
expert.
cigar.
I've heard it both ways.
I'm
Oh
pretty sure
boy,
you
it looks
haven't.
like I'm pouring water.
Yeah, it is.
I realize now why we drink these after 4 hours of drinking other stuff.
Because they are, in fact, hydration.
I was about to say, or on a 100-degree day.
This would not be a spring beer.
It's an anytime beer.
It's a beer you brush your teeth with. That is Hooper style.
Now, I don't know why they didn't. They probably have a scene. They just edited it out. Him just brushing his teeth with cord.
By the way, it does nothing with this. The cigar was the
Bruce
exact
really
same.
does nothing with anything.
No. I'm clearly not a beer expert. This is a misstep, a rare misfire from your TNCC heroes.
Well, you don't know if you don't try.
Well, after the meeting there on set, we cut to the hospital where Hooper arrives to find an emotionally distraught Gwen crying in the hallway. Her dad, Jocko, has had a stroke. The stubborn old bastard fell in the shower and he's in pretty bad shape, she says. Hooper doesn't look surprised by this at all. I fell in the shower this morning. And why would he be? He was up till dawn drinking with the old guy. Of course something happened to him. The guy's like 70 years old drinking Jack Daniels at 5 in the morning. It's amazing he's
After
still...
being in a bar fight.
It's amazing he's still alive at all. Jocko, who doctors say may never walk again. Which again, is that really a crushing blow? We've only seen him sitting around drinking whiskey. When has he walked? Oh, great. Now I got to drink whiskey in a chair. Well, well, he and Hooper have a little heart-to-heart there in the hospital room. And the end result is Hooper telling Gwen that this jump is going to be his swan song. It'll pay him enough money to pay off the ranch, stock it with some animals.
And Coors.
And Coors. It'll buy me 2 semi-trucks load of Coors, which will last me a couple of years. And he also tells her that he loves her, and they start making out. When Gwen
I was just really waiting to see, like, in the corner, Jocko at his bed, like, upside down bottle of Jack Daniels IV.
It's an IV in him?
It's the only thing keeping him alive.
Well, when Gwen and Hooper get back to the ranch, you know, they had a little moment there at the hospital. I'm sure they're ready to do it. No, Coley's passed out, or he's drinking on the couch. You might want to save some of that tequila for breakfast, Hooper tells him. Breakfast idea for tomorrow. The bottle is not going to last till breakfast, though. Coley's drinking with purpose tonight because he's been fired from the production in order for them to afford these new stunts.
Yeah.
They said they had to get rid of some dead wood, and my wood's dead. Do you think that he was talking about his wiener, or was that just...
I think it was just in general.
I think it was yeah, I think it's funnier if you picture it that way. But
I know.
you don't want to picture Rocco P.
No,
Coltrane with erection problems.
No.
Yeah, I just realized that Burt Reynolds played Boss Hogg in the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Sure did. Yeah.
Talk about full circle.
Sure did.
That's probably why he did it.
Yeah. But James Best wasn't in that.
No.
He's still alive.
No.
Isn't
That's
he?
weird.
Right? I'm going to pay tribute to my old friend. I'm right here. Could you pay tribute to me by letting me be in this movie? I'm broke.
I'm doing it in remembrance of him. I'm back here. Hello.
I just gave you Percocets, Bert. Drunk ass Cully also spills the beans to Gwen about Hooper's doctor visit. How he said he was one stunt away from being paralyzed. And, oh, by the way, that stunt he's doing tomorrow, it's a rocket car stunt that's never been done before, and it's crazy dangerous.
Because
Hooper-
they haven't practiced it whatsoever.
No, they
We're
won't.
going to do this stunt. Do you want to, like, maybe like work out the logistics? No.
No. Same old
I'm gonna
thing.
show
Hooper
up.
steps out of his trailer, gets in the car, and does it. Well, Hooper has had enough of his... Yeah, this is his best friend, but he's running his mouth way too much. So he knocks his ass out, flips him over a couch. That's what real men do.
Yes.
And actually, this is what real men do afterwards. He punches him out, and then he goes to a bar and gets shit-ass drunk. Palomino Club.
The Palomino Club. I'm back.
They're still sweeping up from the last time you were here. He's always welcome. Well, they got to spend an inordinate amount of money there.
This is the 18th window we've replaced this year.
It's weird, too. That place didn't have a roof. It was like an
It did.
But it was like a wooden outdoor fence around the
Well, I think it has like an indoor and an outdoor.
No, it's like like Johnny's here. It's kind of
It's
a mashup.
when they were on the when they had the big bar fight. I think they were like inside, and then this was their outside part.
The patio.
The patio.
All right.
They are supposed to be in sunny California.
Actually, a lot of this I think was filmed in Alabama.
Get out.
I think so. At least a lot of the stunt stuff.
No, I mean literally, just get out of here.
All right, here's my notes. Here's where I left off. If you need me, I'll be at the pub. Well, he gets so shit-ass drunk at the Palomino Club that when he strikes out at talking a waitress to sleep with him, I get the feeling that doesn't happen a lot either. He was kind of surprised himself. Well, her husband is the bartender, and he's like, Hooper, when you're hitting on my old lady with me in your presence, it's time for me to call you a cab. And Hooper's like, nah. And he falls out of his... He like laughs happy.
I was just waiting for the bartender to be like, well, You've been hitting on my wife, so I'm going to punch
He
you.
wasn't just hitting on her; he was chewing on her arm
He literally, yes.
like a dog. But everybody loves Hooper. He falls off his bar stool unconscious, which is interesting because an hour later he's back at the ranch riding around on a horse in the middle of the night, sober as can be. His favorite black horse. He spots Gwen sitting nearby in her little red negligee. Is that right, yeah? Is that what that was?
Yes.
Negligee? And he jumps the horse over the fence and makes tender love to her on the
I
grass.
might have to rewind that window scene when she gets up and goes to the window.
You know what? You can just keep the DVD. I don't want that back. Actually, though, it's kind of a very meta moment of self-awareness, I think, because it's a very close shot of the stuntman jumping the horse over the fence.
Oh, yeah.
Who's not Burt Reynolds.
It's definitely not.
So it's a movie about stuntman where we're showing you a different stuntman playing this stuntman.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
And I like the fact that I don't think they really tried to hide it at all.
No, I think it was intentional. It's like, hey, we just showed you a stuntman being the stuntman who pretends to be
stuntman.
other people. There's
Yeah.
like 3 levels of meta. Way to
be
go,
great
Hal,
if they brought
Hal
in, like-
Needham.
They brought in like a stunt horse for the other horse with the stuntman for the fictional stuntman.
And the guy has a terrible Reynolds mustache and wig. Like, it didn't. I thought it was kind of a cool moment.
I did too.
If it was intentional, it was really cool.
Yeah.
If it was unintentional, it's like, really, Hal? Heavy shit, boys. Heavy shit there to contemplate. Or it could just be a total fuck up, like I said. I'm way off base, as per usual. The next day on set, Hooper tells the director that he won't do the stunt. After making love to Sally Field all night, I got something to live for here.
I think my life's pretty good.
Yeah, but Roger Deal isn't having it. And you're not going to stock that ranch with Coors if you don't do this thing.
Oh. Okay, I'm back on board.
You know what? I'll have Young Ski do it solo if you won't do it. And in a nutshell, the director's not backing down.
You can't have him do it. That's a 2-man stunt.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Chewing his gum. Even this, he's not really giving too much. A man could die here. Either the stunt goes down or basically the director tells the producer, either this stunt happens or I walk off. And the studio will never let that happen. This guy just made a $100 million movie.
What kind of movie is it?
He's gonna
Is
get
it
his
worth a
way.
man's life?
That old guy, the producer. He's was from The Godfather.
Yeah.
You need to watch that one of these days. We'll see a third one.
I didn't mind the third one.
Huh?
I didn't mind the third one.
Third one was decent.
Yeah, decent.
No, check these movies out. You guys tell me the good stuff to watch. I saw today that David Chase has signed on to make a prequel to The Sopranos, a movie.
I don't know about that.
But the old days between the Italian and the African American riots in the 60s and who survived in the streets of Jersey. I'll watch it.
Interesting.
Didn't De Niro make that called Brooklyn Tales or something like that?
I think the lady who jumped out of the cake was in Brooklyn Tales. Tails.
Well, it could have been anything.
I don't know if Scorsese was involved in that one.
Probably.
Look that up. Well, Coley finds Hooper at the Palomino Club drowning in sorrows. Imagine that. They're instantly best friends again, too, after Hooper knocked his ass out the night before.
Just a little friendly fight.
Are you still mad at me, boss? Just sit down. Shut up. And I love how he's like, a little early in the morning for the hard stuff, ain't it? The waitress has already handed him a Bloody Mary.
I know.
He's drinking too. That's why I'm never worried about you guys calling me out on my drinking. Because I know damn well you guys are going to have a drink in your hand.
Jay, don't you think you've had a little bit too much there?
It's the first intervention handled at a pub.
Well, gotta have somewhere to go to for the after party. Corey Haim style.
Right? Yeah, they're instantly best friends again.
Sorry, Corey.
I love that though. Like, Hey, man, you were out of line for talking all that shit to Gwen. I had to knock you out, but today's a new day. It's very Australian of them.
It's very Australian of them.
All right, whatever. Coley
Still
tells...
a good mate.
You're still my buddy.
That was yesterday's problems.
Coley tells Hooper that Ski has been promoted to stunt coordinator on the film. He's taken Hooper's spot. There's a whole new breed of stuntmen coming along, Hooper says. They're younger, stronger, tougher than us. They don't take pills, they don't drink, they don't take shots. They use little pocket calculators, and if we don't watch out, they're going to blow us right to kingdom come. And I think it's at this moment that Coley knows the story isn't over. Like, Hooper, he's not going out like that. He's got one left in the cannon.
One round.
Yeah.
Head down.
And certainly not over, as the film's old veteran producer, Max, the guy we were just talking about, comes to beg Hooper at his house to do the rocket car scene. Hooper's the film's only hope. And if Hooper gives in, if nothing else for the money, if you won't do it for that, what about our long-standing friendship? You know, I've put you in a lot of pictures, Max says. Although this long-time, old-ass producer says, if you don't come back, I'm going to be selling door-to-door aluminum siding.
Yeah.
And he was kind of serious about it, like, dude, have you saved nothing?
No, it's Hollywood.
Do you know what these parties cost?
This film expertly shows us, though, how much Hooper takes his friendships and the loyalties that are inherently attached to those friendships seriously. You know, he gets more pissed off in this movie when Coley gets fired, his buddy.
Yeah.
Max, hey man, the guy's giving a lot of work. He's always the first one to come over and congratulate Hooper on a good stunt. It means something to him that he's got to do it. He'll do it for this guy. I like that. Speaking of putting friendships above all else, Gwen tells Hooper that if he does the stunt, she won't be there when he gets back. He just looks at her and walks
I was
out.
about to say, man. It
Hardcore.
was just like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, hardcore. And on the other hand, I'm like, Sally, you need to walk. You just saw what he summed you up as.
Wait, you think you're going to find another guy who lets you bring him beers when he shows up after work and
tries to get it within 10 feet of the trash
good
can?
luck getting another guy's horse drunk? No, I think Gwen's... She's shown her... yeah, I don't know.
Like you said, you might as well cast an imaginary dragon for this role.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's any of us that were like, she'll be there. She's not. Should she get this? Should show her in like a new relationship. Guy comes home with his briefcase and a suit. She's got 2 beers waiting for him. He's like, what the fuck? I'm an alcoholic. Can we come in and just talk a little bit? She's all staring at the beers. I should probably go back.
No, now she marries drunk dad. It's all just like,
oh, man.
at least my last boyfriend talked to me.
Hooper was fun. He took her out. Yeah, Gwen's fucked. I think we all know it. Well, when Hooper shows up on set, the crew is drooling over a new bright red Pontiac Firebird that's been transformed into the rocket car.
Oh,
I love how they call it the rocket car.
The rocket car.
Hooper and Ski take it for a test drive, for scientific research purposes. But they end up just sitting on the hood of it down by the beach with an impressive mountain of Coors cans stacked between them.
Let's just pull over here. Let's talk for a minute. You've been talking for 30 seconds, and you have 18 beer cans behind you.
It was a nice pyramid. It was a
Yeah, they actually make a little pyramid of cans between them.
Which I don't know if that's if that's supposed to be saying something bad about Coors. Like, these two guys, 300 pounds between them, they just drink down
and
48 beers.
At one point, a cop comes over to him, like a beach cop, and he's like, I'm guessing you guys are intoxicated? And Reynolds tells him, nah, don't worry about it. I called my mom. She's coming to get us.
And the cop drives away like...
42-year-old guy wearing an all-denim suit with a giant mustache and a cowboy hat. Oh, your mom's coming to get you, huh? All right, sounds legit. He leaves. Young,
Well, it is the 70s.
it is the 70s. Young Ski tells Hooper that he's had a real effect on him. Since he met Hooper, his marriage is in the shitter and he can't stop drinking. That's what Todd said to me when we first met.
That's all true.
Man, if I had a Coors Banquet beer for every time a friend told me that, I'd have a lot of Coors Banquet beers.
3, 8, 54. It just keeps going up. Why?
Well, Hooper tells him, you know what? My current status with Gwen isn't exactly golden like these golden beers. You see, kid, relationships are a lot like drinking and driving. Eventually, there's going to be a hell of a wreck.
Speaking of
which, we're out of beer. Let's go
let's
get some.
get in the rocket car.
By the way, let's get in the rocket car. Go get some more road beers. Hooper. Yeah, so speaking of drinking and driving, that old copper tries to pull their drunk asses over. They pull up next to him on the highway. Burt's sitting there in the passenger seat drinking some Coors. Hey! Smart ass is off to him. Tries to pull him over, but they hit the... Is it nitrous in the rocket car? Did they use that back then, or is it something else?
This was like an actual rocket.
It's like rocket fuel.
It was literally a rocket. No, it wasn't nitrous.
There's dials and knobs and gauges.
Well, they hit some button and just... They're a history.
It was just like a steel
but right
panel
before
with
they do
just
it,
dials.
right before Hooper tells Ski to hit it, he throws a beer can into the cop car and throws it at him, and then they do it. We never had the balls to do that.
It wasn't the 70s.
We threw beer cans out of the car, and they hit cop cars, but it was accidental. The 70s.
70s.
He leaves the 5-0 in the dust. By the way, I have switched. My follow-up cigar tonight is the Acid Blondie.
Yeah.
I wanted to, since we're going to be talking about acids, I haven't had one in years. It's really a different smoke. But I mean, the aroma off it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got like kind of a, like when you walk into Bed Bath and Beyond, the candle department, like just a bunch of different. You got pencil shavings, like heavy pencil shavings.
I said like, you know, that fresh cedar.
I do love pencil shavings.
It was really good. I'm not saying like it was a bad. I was just like,
yeah,
that's what
Fifth grade over at the pencil sharpener. Just
you guys are weirdos.
Is it just me?
Yeah, that was totally you.
Okay.
Well, after drinking an entire case of beer, if not more, they arrive back on set to perform the most ambitious and dangerous stunt in motion picture history. The way it's edited, it seems as if they went straight from the beach to do the stunt.
Pretty much, yes.
Drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk.
I like their style. And this action sequence, all done in one uninterrupted take, has to be seen to be appreciated. I will not do it justice describing it here, but
It is amazing.
here's what you've got. Buildings on fire, brick towers crumbling to the ground, motorcycles, ambulances crashing through buildings and over people, bodies everywhere flying around. It's fucking nuts.
It is insane.
And it is one giant take. There's one shot that, you know, pre CGI, where one of those huge brick, I guess, smokestacks,
Yeah.
falls, and that red Firebird barely zips past, and that's real. Like, they really did that. It's crazy. The crew on Hooper, not the movie crew, but not the fictional movie crew, but the real crew, called this scene Damnation Alley because they had never seen anything in the history of their work as stunt guys setting this thing up. I mean, it is one explosion after
Oh,
another.
and there's like 23 explosions through this.
Oh, and
thing.
meanwhile, with all the stuff crashing and people's bodies, there's like charges blowing everywhere. And Hooper's having the time of his life. He's riding shotgun, Ski's driving, and he's just giggling and laughing.
It's
and
one of those things to where if you're going to do a movie about stunts and stuntmen, you have to bring it, and they absolutely.
But
I couldn't think of another scene to where this would that you could top this.
And nowadays, you know, with CGI, I mean, you wouldn't even.
Oh yeah, all those explosions would have been done in.
It would have been a
post.
digital building falling. I mean, none of it would have had any kind of real. I was on the edge of my seat in this thing. It was crazy. Don't make them like they used to. And I thought it was hilarious how the director, Roger Deal, who's shooting all the action from a helicopter, for the big stunt, he decided to wear the fire retardant stuntman jumpsuit for the day with gloves.
Yes.
He's walking around in this giant padded jumpsuit. What's he doing? Oh god!
Safety first, man. Safety first.
It's a poser. Anywho, Hooper and Ski, after a brief, Ski hesitates right before because they're losing rocket power or whatever.
Pressure. It has to be up to a certain PSI.
And they've been losing it as they've been jostled around by those explosions. He does have a moment of hesitation where he stops and he looks at Hooper and he's like, my life's worth more than a stunt. And Hooper's like, no, your life's worth 50 grand. That's what you said back there. We're doing this. And then immediately Ski, who was like, I can't do this, was like,
yeah,
all right, we're doing it. Hooper. The 70s.
Hooper can talk to you into anything, man.
He can sweet talk a horse to take a dump. He can talk this guy into doing that. Well, dude, he hits the gas, and this rocket car, a truck labeled explosives, blows up this bridge, which is a real bridge they blew up in Alabama that was going to be demoed. And then the rocket car, which I couldn't find anything that said it was a model. I guess it was a real rocket car.
Well, there was a little brief. If you watch
There's a moment where it looks like a toy.
It's not it's a different car. You can tell. Just like.
And there's action figures and the driving it. But it is still it doesn't take away from
No.
the rocket car clears it, and they nailed it. Everyone comes over. Everybody's going bananas. They come over to congratulate him, including Gwen. She couldn't stay away. Cully, even though he's fired, he still wanted to see it. And Jocko's there on crutches. He's gonna make it.
He'll never walk again. He's on crutches.
Doesn't
Day
matter.
later.
Doesn't matter. Give me that Jack Daniels bottle, boy.
They just couldn't stay away. They had to see the big stunt. Roger, the director, pulls Hooper aside to explain to him that in the end, their differences don't really matter. The final film is all that matters. The director, I haven't really given him enough praise. He's such a condescending, kind of elitist prick in this. Apparently, he was based on Peter Bogdanovich, what's the Paris, Texas, and at this period of time, it would have been Last Picture Show.
Oh, okay, yes.
You would know him from his on-screen work. He was Melfi's psychiatrist on Sopranos.
Oh, gotcha.
But he was kind of the art house critics' darling director of the 70s, and I guess this was kind of based on him. Always had an ascot on and talking about
that asshole.
I forgot to mention there is one good scene with him. There's a lot of good scenes with him, but there's a scene where he's riding on the stunt truck, pointing out how he wants this final scene to go.
Yeah.
I want this falling and this. And his little assistant director, this little weasel, is like, oh, Roger, that's perfect. That's the only way you could accurately shoot this scene. You're a genius. He's like, well, no, Peter. There's a million ways you could shoot this scene, but this is the right way. It was a good little moment. But, hey, man, for a comedian, Robert Klein did a really good job in this. He's a dick. He plays a dick really well. And Roger's big enough to apologize for the way he treated Hooper throughout the production. And I know, Hooper, that you're a big enough man to accept that apology. Well, as usual, Roger, you're wrong, Hooper quips. And then he looks right at the camera.
Breaks that wall.
Breaks the fourth wall.
Go, Burt!
And then punches Roger out.
Go,
to
Burt!
which there's a little Looney Tune noise, like a little ding. And then the crew cheers loudly. They all hated Roger. Hooper has finally knocked him out. Everyone's happy. He throws his arm around Gwen, who totally forgot about him walking out on her earlier.
Which was literally hours previous.
Yeah. We're over, Hooper. I'm never going to see you again. There she is. And again, because he's beat up the director, he's got the girl, Jocko's on crutches, Hooper's happy. So he looks into the, once again, looks straight at the camera, gives us the A-OK sign, freeze frame. That's the end. Everything's going to be okay for Hooper.
Good old Hooper. It's the first time I watched this movie.
Me too.
It's the first time I've seen it.
You'd seen it before.
I have seen it before.
I had never seen it. I like it.
I did too. I enjoyed it a lot.
It
Sucks that you have to go through so much to try to get it to view it.
again, and you know what? Surprisingly, we did the right thing where we bought a DVD from Amazon.
Yeah.
Not an outside seller. It was Prime.
Yeah.
And it was clearly a bootleg.
Yeah.
The sound we had to crank up to 100.
Yeah.
It had no chapters, no menu. The DVD itself just said Hooper on it.
Hooper. What is this? Hooper.
Yeah. So we tried, but it was a terrible copy.
It saddens me to think like a movie like this, and you can't just get a copy of it.
Yeah, let alone rent online, but you can't even get a good DVD of it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
I'll tell you this: what it did make me want to do is go back to a lot of the Burt stuff. You know, the Sharky's machine and the Gator. There's so much of that I haven't seen since I was a kid. And he was just
I
such.
haven't seen Sharky's.
I forgot just what a
Screen presence you
a unique screen presence.
well, and you know, thinking back, like you just said, Gator and things like that. I mean, those films were for their time, you know, intense action flicks. I mean, obviously, time and
Well, later on, I think he lost a little bit of the smarm and the wise ass. Like, remember, was it Stick? Where it was kind of more kind of edgy. And,
Yeah.
I think he got away from kind of the fun a little bit there.
Yeah.
But I want to go back and watch some of these other early things.
well, you know,
For the rest of the year, we're only doing Burt Reynolds movies.
I'd actually be fine with that.
Yeah, I probably would be too. Well, my favorite growing up, my grandma took me to see it, and I just fell in love with it, and I just was obsessed with it. Was City Heat with him and Eastwood.
Yes.
You know,
That's fantastic.
Burt was a PI. Clint was a police detective back in the, I guess, 50s, 40s maybe. Oh, God, I love that movie. But Burt was Burt in that, too. And I
Yes.
think that's the movie where he got hurt. I think he took a real chair over the back in a fight or something.
Yeah.
And from that point on, like, he's actually suffered some pretty constant pain. I don't know if James Best lives with him and injects him with pain pills. Perhaps maybe get Burt on future podcast. Talk to us a little bit. Just don't ask him about Boogie Nights.
let's not go there.
He's not a fan. So that's the biggest regret of his career.
Really?
The one that got him an Oscar nomination.
Why?
The material said it was. I think in hindsight he has some problems with the.
As opposed to the giant naked titty woman jumping out of the cake
Well,
over
it's a
here.
little bit different than that, and then like the girls in Boogie Nights, like what was his name in that? You know, when they're like asking them like if they can do anal and all that, and I think he was a little uncomfortable with all that in hindsight, which is crazy. He was so good in that.
Yeah.
But he's still Burt Reynolds, one of a kind.
I don't know. I wish he would have done more. You know, it was kind of funny. We were talking about it after we watched it, and I was like, "Yeah, I wish we'd have had a longer run." And you were like, "Well, hell, he had a great run."
He had a pretty good run.
Yeah, he did. He had a great run, but there's a lot of older stars that have received like a renaissance.
Your Harrison Fords,
But Burt didn't have that renaissance. I mean, yeah, I guess you want to call Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard his renaissance. I mean, he's,
I don't think anybody's calling that a
no,
renaissance.
nobody is. The closest thing he got was Boogie Nights, and then that he did that senator role in the movie Striptease, and then he just kind of
I mean,
disappeared.
I think the difference between him and some of these other guys that have kind of, Burt was a very specific screen presence, and I think there's a lot of movie stars. He was a movie star,
Yeah.
and a lot of those guys. Look at John Travolta. The guy's a movie star.
Yeah.
You get to a certain point, and it's like, what can we do with you? You're not gonna be a dramatic.
No, but I think
It's just kind of like it's a weird fit.
I think there's a lot of room for that, like the character he played in Striptease. You know, just the smarmy senator guy.
Yeah.
I think he could have played that for days.
Well, I think he did. It was just in stuff that we, I think he took a lot of paychecks. Barely. Same with Travolta.
Yeah.
When they get a little fire under their careers, after Pulp Fiction, he did everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Nicolas Cage, all of a sudden, he got into some tax trouble, and I'll do 50 movies a year. Burt's, he's had some marriages and some things. I think he
Some plastic surgeries to pay for.
he looks a little.
Freakish. He does. I'm sorry, he does.
I haven't seen him recently, but I will say his performance in Boogie Nights was amazing,
It was.
and it wasn't a Burt performance.
There's
it
not
was,
even in as crappy as Dukes of Hazzard was. He was still.
I saw
when
that,
he
but I
comes-
honestly don't remember.
When he comes, he doesn't even have to speak a line. Just him being on screen does it for me. I'm like, that's Burt Reynolds, and he's awesome. I like him.
I'll say this: Hooper, ultimately, to me, after talking about it with you guys, and it just kind of dawned on me. Yes, it's a movie full of stunts and about stuntman stuff, but I think ultimately the movie is about friendship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
These guys, you believe every single friendship without any backstory about me and Coley go. No, they don't tell you anything.
Yeah.
You just really, and due to his charm and his and the decisions he makes in the film based on these friendships. It's really a film about loyalty and friendship, and kind of putting that above all else. Like, be loyal to your friends, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think that's what I got from it.
I wonder if it's one of those.
And drink
drink
lots of
copious amounts of alcohol.
amounts of alcohol.
I wonder if it's one of those kind of professions to where it's kind of like wrestlers, to where they might hate each other, but it's still like a very close knit industry.
Perhaps we'll get an answer to that question.
Yeah, I hope we do get to do the interview
Because
I
the
would
gentleman
really
who we
like to-
may or may not be interviewing, when I told him that we were pairing his interview with Hooper, he actually seemed excited, and he said he knew a lot of guys
that worked on
that picture.
Yeah,
that's what they call it in the business, pictures.
I thought it was
Shows.
Oh.
That's right. Work on a show.
Worked on a show.
Doing gags on a show. That's another thing. Why do you call it gags?
So you know what? Hopefully the interview happens, and if it does, we'll either insert it in a place that makes sense. That's what she said. Or we'll just put it as its own standalone thing, or both. And we do the both sometimes too. We'll see. But it was a fun show. I'm glad, regardless. Regardless if the interview doesn't happen, I'm glad we watched Hooper, because I never saw it. It's awesome.
I agree.
And it caused us to discover a really good beer. I give this beer.
Dude, the Santo was out of the park.
Man.
Good.
Yes. Fantastic. I'm definitely. If I find it, I'm gonna drink it.
Agreed. And the Alpha cigar was nice.
Yes,
It
very
was.
pleasant cigar.
For two of us, it took a little while to get going, a little effort. But after that first third, it really came alive, and it creamy, chocolate, a little spice, a little graham, It's good flavor at a good price point. So 3 thumbs up for all the tonight's subjects.
I concur.
Absolutely.
I concur. And
Four,
guess what?
4 if you're
There was no
including
dong
my denim
chomped
shirt.
on. There was no molestation going on except for Burt biting, poor waitress.
This was a good movie.
Yes.
This one was for you guys. Tut, give us some links.
Oh, hit us up at TNCCcast on Twitter. Go to the YouTube page, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. You can also find us on Facebook's Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Hit us at Instagram at TNCC_podcast.
That it?
Yes.
Also, let us know on the Facebook page if you would like me to continue wearing a lot of denim on the show.
Please say no. Please say no.
Dude, your denim just does not match up to this awesome.
Man, I'm so proud of you for the that you. James Best would be proud. God rest his soul.
I'm just saying. When
Oh
I
wait,
saw
he's not dead.
No, he's not.
Or is he?
He's still wearing the bell bottoms with the stitch stars on the.
I wish I had time to stitch some stars onto this shirt, but I got a lot going on. I'm a busy man. But dude, you came correct tonight. I appreciate it. You look good.
Thank you.
You let me down. No, no mustache, no toupee, no nothing.
Do you know how difficult it is to find a good toupee?
Get ready to spend the next week giving Cade Percocets and shots in the ass.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. You're going to learn all about liberty tonight, my friend. Sayonara, motherfuckers. See you next week.
To learn more about the time I found myself stuck in a precarious 69 while vacationing off the eastern coast of the Philippines back around 1987 or so, well, folks, you just kinda had to have been there because that's one of Cool Keith's erotic tales from the sea that he plans on taking to the grave with him. Let's just say it involved lots of baby oil, a snorkel, a jar of spicy mustard, and possibly a papaya or two. Summer nights. All year long. And in the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit www.alphacigar.com and www.starnold.com. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.